sight with that tall building over to the left side of behind that second checkpoint. No one was really marking him down, and in reality, that was 2C before we saw Melio swap off of that Force Atom composition into the Phoenix. Maybe a little too late is the question mark. So hopefully they'll be able to figure that out faster.
Yeah,
I mean, they have to, right?
Yeah, go ahead, Zoe. Sorry.
No, you go ahead, please. You guys are the analysts. I'm just the glue of the show. I'm just the host.
No, we got word from Jarvis. Obviously, Ryan Mason coming in for the interview. I'm sure there's a lot of Iron Man mains are stoked to see that out there on the field. We're looking forward to talking to him about essentially like what their plan is and being able to run stuff like this. I'm sure the audience wants to hear similar answers. But yeah, shout out to Ryan. Looks great in that matchup. I'm looking forward to hearing his reasoning for the pick, which obviously worked out. But yeah, I just think they looked like a whole new team today, for sure.
They really did. And that's a really impressive thing to do, right? Because yesterday on both maps, they kind of really stuck to their guns and to their playbook. Just to go overnight and kind of like throw that out the window and have a different approach. A lot of teams don't get to do that. A lot of teams, they would need a week, like maybe next week, and they can like figure something new out. And the first week, they just kind of try to make it work with what they have, with what they practice. So to see the flexibility and the willingness to adjust so quickly is very impressive, and should make every Sentinels fan really excited for what's to come.
Yeah, I mean, the ban phase there, it's worth bringing up. We talked about prior, not to toot our horn again, saying like they ran that Ultron so well, they're going to have to remove it. I think what they wanted to run was,
thanks for the support, guys. Appreciate it.
They could run essentially whatever they wanted. They switched consistently throughout the matchup. We saw Cap, we saw Venom, we saw Magneto dominance and consistent on Magneto all the time. I'm wondering if maybe that's a priority for enemy teams in the future to try to find a way to remove that.
How are you feeling about the
something less comfortable.
series?
Yeah, I just think they got the exact comp they were looking to run, and
I think I played really well.
Yeah, now as we're waiting for
I think we just made individual game losing mistakes, and that's why we lost.
Chat. I do want to talk a little bit more about the Ultron, right? Because in our first map, we
Carlos.
lost, I think it was Zatex.
Let me see what you previously typed in my
baited us there a little bit. So for a second, we're like, Ultron back in the mix.
Okay, you haven't typed anything inflammatory.
But it did not happen, and now we get to see it not only played on both sides,
Don't
but also
rage bait me
banned
right
on
now.
both
I will
sides.
permaban.
Did you guys expect that at all? Ultron making such a return after the patch?
I don't care who's frying me for switching to Namor, bro.
I feel like I kind of
they don't understand the context of the series.
To try to run the triple strat with the Ultron, and if there was going to be a team that was going to run triple strat, it was definitely going to be Sentinels. It fits into the way that the Amazing's hero pool works together. Of course, since he just loves flyers, that's why we got so hyped when we saw Torch from 2C, wondering, oh, are we going to see a mirror match?
Thanks, Sarah.
But no, that didn't come out. I'm more so surprised, though, on how prevalent it is so early within the preseason, because I think a lot of teams, as we keep repeating,
just rage bait Twitter supports all the time.
Where the meta is. Where Ultron slots in, it's a question mark on, okay, what impact can you get with White Fox, and how quickly can you get that Ultron ultimate online?
And I just got word, we do have Rymazing ready to join
Thoughts
us
on
for a quick
Jitward.
chat.
He plays Spider-Man, DPS, Deadpool, and Daredevil. What do you want me to say, bro?
Just got themselves. So let's bring him in for an interview. We've been so excited to pick his brain regarding what we got to see on the server. Amazing. Congratulations. Hello and welcome to the show. First things first, have to talk about what we got to see you rolling out with. We did not expect to see an Iron Man today. We know that you want to play him. Who did you have to bribe? Who did you have to convince in your team in order to roll out with it?
I mean, I think my team trusts me on the Iron Man. We're kind of worried about that Ultron ban. We're talking about what are we going to play when Ultron gets banned here. And I was like, you know what? I think I can play Iron Man on this map. Like, it's a big map. It's really good for Iron Man. Let's just do it. And everybody trusted the call, but it was weird.
It's amazing, yeah.
Yeah, I think that goes to just your team chemistry, right? You guys have been playing together for so long. People just trust you because they know what you can do. I gotta ask in terms of just like entirety of the team. You guys, a team that a lot of teams love. Everyone loves you guys as a team together. But yesterday you struggled a little bit, right? What changed today that made you guys look so dominant? Because you guys really did look like a fresh team today.
I think we reworked our draft a lot. I think we were maybe prioritizing the wrong things. I think we gave them too many of the powerful characters on.
Guys,
like
no, we play SSG tomorrow.
They had,
that piercing could come in clutch.
Blundered our draft.
For Sentinels and climbing with all advantages.
Been to recently.
that they're a smart team, and they definitely. Yeah, is the mindset you have to have at this level of play. But you're going to see the removal of Vanguard Pool and the lock-in of Vanguard Pool again for Sentinels. Already, I vastly think they're making positive changes to their banning phase.
I feel like there's also a statement maker with Jeff being the protect on the side of FlyQuest and the tank pool being protected on the side of Sentinels. I think a lot of question marks also relies on the flexibility of both these teams. A lot on the line with these two teams too, losing out on that first series with a lot more pressure putting onto the top 4 teams within their respective groups that make it out of these groups to that double elimination bracket. They're hovering over the Invisible Woman. You had 2 seconds left and they commit to it. So Sentinels, even though you still have those 3 strat bands, it's
not horrible, but it's horrible. We're gonna be a little
get those.
The switch on there as we see the switch now, and right over to White Fox again. White Fox hasn't been seen so far today, but now, I mean, she's just in a really good spot. I think incredibly strong and can find value in picks. So the idea now is to play a little bit aggro with the triple, a more aggressive triple with Ultron and White Fox, and let's see if this works for Sentinels. But once again, starting off with the triple, Dongmin gonna find one on the best early on, and that's gonna set the tone now. Goodbye to Thor.
The fastest I've ever seen Thor get absolutely Thanos snapped. Okay, well, that's a great statement here as Sentinels get to walk onto the point for right now. Look at Crimzo in the ultimate charge. You were highlighting it just in our last series as Mirror gets a finishing blow onto Jolly, and FlyQuest are just staggering it.
I like the composition here from Sentinels significantly more than what we've seen over yesterday. So shout out already for this real change here. Amazing is going to be on that Ultron. Ultron, you know, obviously very strong when damage boosted, but also in a triple composition can play very aggro. Keeping eyes on Ken now. And Ultron right now in the current meta, the idea is not only is the damage strong, but the ult charge is one of the best in the game. If you can keep those drones out and keep providing damage, you'll get that ult very quick, and you can actually get it prior to the strategist and try to get some early picks. So we're going to keep our eyes on that as Amazing's already at 76% right behind Crimzo on Vanguard Pool. And Tuzi, who's very close as well on that Elsa.
Turf, there's not an analysis that's needed. We just made diamond level individual game losing mistakes.
From the right side, but very isolated from the rest of the team who are trying to force their way out of this choke. It's going to be activated first from Crimzo.
There's no like analysis that needs to be done on the draft. They didn't make any crazy plays.
Looks right behind them.
Like
the
we
rest
just
of
lost
Sentinels are
because
feeling
we
themselves
didn't
as a
press
near 50%.
buttons. It's actually that simple, bro.
Right to the left of Flamay. It is Melio who is also on the other side of that point trying to get back to his team.
Yeah, part of me's bummed about the Thor Angie team up already getting changed up here for Fly. I wanted to see some success with it because I don't think we have yet really in Ignite, but at least not in our region. But right now, they are making the change up. Best is storied on Magneto, an incredible Magneto player. Guy just simply does not miss, so we'll see if that provides some more value. Tuzi is very low on HP, is able to get healed up here, and out goes the Rage of Ultron. Usher once more with an early pick this time on a Best, trying to find a second. Looking clean on this hero right now, and Tuzi's holding on by a thread, but not for long. And once more, Usher showing up saying, hey, I can play this hero. Check me out with a 3-piece.
He was popping off yesterday. There's only so much you can do too, right? When you're trying to make a lot of these plays happen. Well, guess what? Waking up with a different lineup right now and no triple strat right here is, well, rather with the Ultron being with Amazing's hand, it's always been a different look. Almost like that signature hero where Amazing loves taking to the skies, but it's the determination from Melio to help sustain FlyQuest. Overtime taken away with Sentinels at 99%, not allowing FlyQuest to flip this not even once. They kite away, they wait for that Ultron ultimate to end, and now the invisible boundary rotates in from Mirror. They have to wait on Flamay to have that Ninetales activated before they dive in. Crimzo now trying to disrupt the piece too, isolating one of those members that are in the backline that have that Ultron drone before Jolly uses the piece of the Abyss on the anti-heal.
Tuzi's able to find one onto Crimzo. The ult goes out from Ken with the chef, and that one does not seem value, but Flamay's able to find one onto Vest in the front line. OT going to be taken down in a moment here. Numbers even.
It wasn't to knock the Hulk down, it was to ground him so he can't use his combo, which fucks up his juggle to do like 300 damage to him and kill him. I don't get how those people are so fucking brain dead, they don't understand. It's so annoying.
The idea now is try to get this Venom away. Flamay just barely missing the dash there, and out goes the dance floor. Meteor up in the sky. Does this one land? What a view. Bang! Down goes Zelos. What a throw from Dongmin. The trade comes in from Tuzi and Dongmin again.
Always feels pain when you have to slowly back away. You know you're about to get dunked in the head by that Meteor and Meatball. And then you have Amazing, who had the extermination so quickly, ready for this fight to beat out Zelos, who had tried to dance it off. Sentinels, a dominating statement win on that first round.
Yeah, 100-0, taking point early and not letting it go, losing a fuel on the way, but still maintaining presence on point, dropping back together, retaking, just holding a touch on point whenever needed. That is the Sentinels we're used to seeing. FlyQuest has the talent to do the same. Let's see if they can shake it up here.
Can we sit back and appreciate how amazing these changes have been too recently within Marvel Rivals? Like just noting the fact that the triple strat here for Sentinels is looking completely different. You have Flamay and Rimazing putting in a lot of that pressure, also backing up Mirror, but with that ultimate economy being nerfed here too, you look on the other side and it makes it so hard to recontest, forces out so much different utilizations of a great look of different heroes.
Yeah, and shout out Jolly actually on the sticks for the controller players, maybe thinking about making their way to PC. Definitely viable, especially on the Vanguard role. We've seen some duelists and strategists as well, but Jolly on the sticks up in the sky with Angie. A lot of the times you'll see controller players on Angela, Strange, Emma. For some reason, they just feel really good on controller. Now, the fight begins again. FlyQuest looking to take this one back. The changes have come in, but the question is it panic changes like we saw in the last matchup, or is this Cerebral something they're doing to try to counter and find value? Alt advantage on Fly's favor. Will they get advantage right now on point?
Makes you wonder if Rimazing needed to be the nail in the coffin with his own Ultron ultimate. Dogman gets the 1-2 and finds Jolly.
We did combo with Star-Lord.
The one wing that Jolly was utilizing to get around that one pillar. Tusi then follows up. Melio tries to resustain everybody here from FlyQuest, but this is a fight lost as Sentinels are dealing too much oppression in the attacking side, and Yusher finds another victim, and that was all just straight neutral.
This hero's disgusting, and Yusher's disgusting on this hero. Quadra coming in on the first fight, and Sentinels will take 0.7% in climbing. Vest does have ult available. Ken should have the It's Jeff, but again, it's tricky to run the Jeff in a comp like this when there's some answers. Rimazing could use Rage of Ultron to stop Jeff, who will not have a bubble, or if Dongman's able to get there as well, that opportunity's on the table. We'll find out what it looks like. Crimzo does have Banhammer available. Vest and Ken, though, which one will be more valuable? We'll find out right now.
See how Vez tries to approach this too, right? Looking for a diving opportunity with some communication from Jolly. Zelos does have that BRB, but right now Yusher has had Jolly's name attached to that one bullet every single time they try to get into position. Now you unleash everything here up on the catwalk, and that's a big pick, by the way. Melio finding Rimazing when he had the discrimination could go big before backing away. They try to take the point, split more of that attention, but they haven't flipped it just yet, as Settles will have Rimazing coming right back.
Yeah, teams are still trying to figure out the meta. We've heard that a lot in interviews. It's still early in the season, and teams are trying to work their way through it. Right now, I think there's a ton of conversations going on where later on in the season, you kind of know exactly what you need to do just from practice and experience over time. There's been scrims, but scrims don't always tell the story as teams try to hide some information throughout those. Melio able to find Crimzo off the rip should give FlyQuest a chance at taking this. 70% already for Sentinels and climbing with ult advantage. It's looking like it's still in their favor. Very much so, at least so far. Rimazing did a great job on Ultron with position. The all comes through the Glartrox. It does not find too much value as Dongman does self-bubble in that moment.
And Rimazing was ready too to deal a lot of that pressure onto the Glartrox itself. Melio's one can't get away. Yusher is dealing with a highlight reel of his career here within this game. He is popping off. This is working out in a different look for Sentinels as Rimazing finds Ken next. The BRB does bring him back. Animal Crossing backline trying to come in clutch for the rest of FlyQuest, but with the reset coming in and overtime taken away, FlyQuest need to touch on the point.
Losing individual mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, Sentinel just looked locked in.
That's why it's frustrating.
It's going to be very difficult to stop this
if you lose to a team that's better than you, it's like, alright, well, we're just like worse, it happens. But no, that game, like,
1 HP in a dream.
we just lost to ourselves. We just killed ourselves, reaped our ults, backline split, it's just random garbage.
Yusher does have ult available, and that could be the swan song here for FlyQuest on map 1. Ken goes under, looking for somebody. Crimzo chasing Ken, who's going to be very low, and they do clean that up with Rimazing and Yusher. And at this point, it is going to be impossible for Fly to hold on for long. They're just stalling here with Vest. Another goes down on the side of Tuzi. Flamay going to drop Jolly out of the sky. Dongman on the Vest, and that will do it for map 1.
Yeah, that was super funny, Sant. That was really funny, bro.
Not even a Doctor Strange swap up to try to portal in to recontest. It goes hand in hand with what you were just saying, Shib. Like, you see the It's Jeff, but there's no Magneto bubble to protect them.
Yeah, it's a really tough comp to run Jeff into without your own Magneto, because in those moments where you're trying to make aggro plays, you're constantly worried about a very fast farming ultimate from Ultron or Magneto with bubbles available to keep the team healthy. There's a lot of answers. Jeff doesn't, in that map specifically, that's, when they're spread like that, it's hard to find value with spray, but you can look across the board. The only 2 finals coming from Tuzi and Melio right there on the bottom side for FlyQuest, but you look up there, Yusher with 12 looked insane on that hero.
He went down 1 time while Dogman didn't go down a single time. Dogman's Magneto was cooking up a storm. Look at this here. But between the 12 final hits from Yusher, I'm expecting an Elsa ban going into this next game, maybe because 2C was trying their best, but again, could be a little difficult to try to match that of Yusher, who may have a bit of an advantageous position. And that's even with Mirren from May, by the way, not going down a single time. We saw Ramazing go down in that second round. He came right back around, and he had the extermination ready to go.
Yeah, and shout out Mirror coming in first game. Sure, nerves were high, taking place of Korova, a name that, everyone knows, a big name and discussing Adam and a great backline in general. But Mirror coming in, jumping right into those shoes, 12.5k healing, not going down a single time.
Would there have been a better way to res? I mean, I had to channel the res when he was channeling his ult.
They got picked off because there is so much
instead of after he finished it. That's like the only thing I could have done differently there. Because if I die and then look to res afterwards, I just get marked, and we're already down so many. It's not hard for them to follow me and just mark me.
Because of it.
But Skier got booped away and then jumped and kited the whole goal, and he just wasn't an LOS to heal me, or my res goes off, and then we have like a chance of winning.
A different look
that's like such a tight situation. It's like we lost before that happened. I shouldn't even be in that position in the first place.
Sentinels are currently sitting at match point because don't go anywhere. On the other side of this break, we have game number 2.
We're forcing that shit comp to try to make a miracle play because we fucking trolled our attack so bad, bro. And we actually won the point on attack literally like 3 or 4 different times, and someone just ran it. Every time. That's why it's frustrating, bro. Did you say you made a lot of mistakes? Not really. I obviously made mistakes. I'm not like a perfect player, perfect person, but I don't think I made like any egregious game-losing mistakes. Did you say you play too many heroes? No, I would not say I play too many fucking heroes, man. God.
Welcome back, one and all. Zoe here, joined by Ship and Vicky, and we're about.
Why didn't Skier shield TP second map? No idea. I didn't check.
No disrespect to Jolly, maybe he didn't every 2 seconds. It was like he was hunting Angela always. As we are going to be heading over to.
We have to
play SSG tomorrow.
It's because the team comp isn't really built around a mainline front shield tank like that. That could be on the table. I'm not sure what the discussions are on the back end, but yeah, definitely not as much play, especially out the spawn door from Vess on that hero. As we start up now, the double gambit ban, and we're going to see the lock-in of Elsa. What do you know? Very similar, but this time Fly going to get ahead of it.
And guess we get the Elsa 1v1, it looks like, with the Mantis ban being forced out because of the Elsa being protected, which allows now Sentinels to have Yusher unleash with their own Elsa protect. It's a back and forth. We also have to highlight we are moving on to Hall of Jalia, which means that you will have a lot more of those open sight lines. And then if we wanted to talk about, the topic of just having the verticality of Krakoa, you'll have a very similar case in this map too.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, and this map does lend itself, especially when you're on attack, to
the last game of the day tomorrow.
And if you can own that when you're walking in and allow your team to have a little more space down main, it keeps things tricky. But on the inverse side of that coin, this is very much one of those maps that we've seen.
Does Jeff get farmed by Spidey
definitely happen if the team's locked in together.
No,
but it truthfully is all in the back of who holds that top left side, and I'm sure we'll get a look at that from the observers as the game goes on. But seeing the bans here, goodbye to Vanguard pool that snuck through last time. It's gonna be double removed, and the lock-in of Invis here.
Seeing that a lot more often too, with Invisible being protected, which means Sentinels already revealing their game plan. Could it be a bait? I always like to see the mind games that goes down into this pick and ban phase, because now they're lingering. Do we ban the Ultron? Almost like what you were saying before, Shiv, where it could kind of scare teams, but also name a better combo. Oh my gosh, is it gonna actually happen?
Yeah,
they do it. They do it. Okay, name a better combo that goes hand in hand than Rymazing and a Flyer.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I feel like our
Appreciate
stocks just rose a little bit there with that call. That was beautiful. As they're just trying to stop that. It was just too much to handle. I'm wondering what they're going to change now, because Mantis is off the table too. I mean, obviously Adam is one of those heroes that you can select in triple that looks pretty good, but getting rid of Kurova and running Adam just feels like a sin, right? So we're going to see here they're going to remove Ultron on potentially both sides. First time we've seen that, I believe, in Ignite as a whole. And again, we talked about how it is strong in the meta, but didn't know it was that strong.
Imagine being from another region and looking at the pick and ban phase right now, like, what is going on in the Americas region? Well, welcome everybody, because in our second game now, with Sentinel sitting at match point, feeling a little comfy, we get the double Ultron ban coming out, as well as the double Invis and double Elsa, kind of looking at each other like the Spider-Man meme, making sure that they're going to try to diddle each other.
We might see the triple Vanguard. Rise right now floating the Iron Man. I feel like that's just fan service at the moment, but maybe not. We'll see in a moment. But they are one of those teams that's not afraid to run that triple front line, where Rai was playing, up there as well. Oh, he is going out on Iron Man, I believe. Wait, I love to see that. Okay, that's awesome. So Iron Man getting play for the first time, I believe, in Ignite, at least here in NA.
He wanted to do this so bad yesterday, but you can't run the risk in a best of 3. But I had to say it yesterday. I'm going to repeat it for those of you guys watching and new today. One of the funniest conversations I've had with Kurova and Rymazing in the back of champs was Rymazing saying, I just want to play Iron Man. They never let me. Well, he's popped up before. It can be difficult depending on the meta. We don't usually get to see it, but it's coming out here from Sentinels, with LeMay actually swapping over to the Luna.
And here we go, folks. Early on, Mirror just trying to farm a little bit of that damage. Gets a percent, not too much there. Rymazing holding the high side as we see the attack pattern from the side of Fly going down main as a unit so far. Ken got to be on that Jeff, which we've seen some success with. Vess on the Thor. Vess really can play every single Vanguard in the game, which is obviously a huge talent. So what they elect to do right now, a lot of commitment on this team. Very brawly front side. They are going to be running that triple on attack as well, and they are going to be using the Atom as Usher's owning that height. Crimzo guarding this position that we were talking about. If you can own this, you do a great job in owning the defense. Crimzo playing here with Angela is actually a big brain play. Got to shout that out, as so far already one goes down inside of Ken.
And I feel like he could be playing around in his own playground here, right? You have so many. Oh my gosh, Rymazing still finds Zelos. What a stagger at that. And they're trying to stop Charlie from getting away. He's forced to pop the armor. At least 6 feet into the Strat ult for FlyQuest to work off of. But here you have Juicer putting in so much of that pressure still here. And Rymazing just getting away with everything from the high ground here, Shib.
Yeah, I like the comp so far. Definitely different, as we can see what happens now. You can see FlyQuest changing things up just a little bit, just to try to match what they're seeing.
The match has already happened, bro.
Ban towards Lunex, no Mantis, of course, no Gambit and Jeff. Jeff being another priority that we've been seeing more and more, I think, as the MRI has been going on across different regions, has kind of been a very interesting topic on not trying to force out either a strat if you feel like this team is really good at trying to help with the peels, or Logan and Silent Plays maybe trying to see if they're going to be able to roll out with this, because you're dealing with the double Rage and Royal Flush, so you got to stay alive.
Yeah, and that's why we are going to see Rocket. At least maybe for right now, it might just be an armor pack situation. I'm not sure if the change is coming through. We've seen Silent Blaze play Rocket in the past. I believe Silent Blaze is on controller, if I'm remembering correctly. But so, yeah, we're just likely going to be playing some of those heroes that's more tailored to the controller side of things. We'll see what that looks like coming out. It is going to stay the Rocket right now. So, the idea for the side of Logan and Lunex is it's going to be dicey. You got to save that freeze cooldown. You do not have to team up with Fox to give yourself another answer. You got to have insane positioning, and your team's got to be playing around you to keep you healthy, because you will not have those Loki crystals. You will not have that Gambit movement to self-heal. It's going to be a tough battle, but if Logan can do it properly, it'll be huge for Lunex as the game begins right now.
Front page of stream.
Get already on the thing, though. Nice little note with that triple Van setup, as if he already tries to dive into that back line, tries to tether together, but Luku's ready right there to try to help ground him. It doesn't even matter, because Pizza Demon, he didn't want to try to send out those left. He got immediately deleted, and Bedtime Story was able to give more of that information, and TSM are just getting torn apart in this first fight with Lunex Gaming taking control of this point.
Somebody stop the symbiote. This dude is just popping off early on, waiting for crystals to get popped and immediately committing, finding pizza, and then another 2 picks after the fact, after the re-engagement. Drops away, gets health from the back line, and just re-engages. Talking about Logan staying healthy and staying in the back line, they didn't even have that much pressure because the entirety of Lunex was on top of their heads before the fight even started.
Now you're noting why that was no Jeff. They were expecting the Venom to come out from Iffy, who's an insane Venom that we've seen thus far too, and they didn't want to have that team up, but it doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
here.
I mean, that was
When
the only
nobody
draft
also
fumble was
Silent
map too,
Blaze,
as I told
who
my
has
team
the
to
BRB
protect
ready to
Daredevil
go. They back away
over
just in
Elsa.
time with Gale now going over onto the Phoenix and do at least some
agree.
sort of pressure
So
for
I
the
just like went
teammates
with
from
the team
Lunex
wanted,
that are
but
spread
like I
apart.
knew that Daredevil shuts down how they want to
Playing
play.
that thing using the Yancey
Because their
Street
Jeffer
to
Endis
just
can't
keep
flank
the team
against my
up.
character.
But right now the pick comes in
And
from
there's also
Chico
like
on
5
the
other
bedtime
characters
story.
that Vision
One
can
goes
play.
down, and again, numbers up
But
here for
there's no
Lunex
other
with
character
ultimate
that does what
advantage.
Daredevil
TSM
does.
Got to regroup and try again.
So it's like,
out goes the Glartrox.
that was a fumble, but we still could have won. It's not like the only reason we lost was one of them.
Keeping the pressure up and walking them back to the door. They're going to keep this angle tight as that teleporter does not start until 55%. They might be able to stop them. They're elected to drop backwards now, I believe, because they know that portal's just about to come back up. Good comms by them to not play too aggro if they do elect to take that portal, but no, they are not, at least not so far.
Still holding on to it here. Cowie is very close to that Raging Portal Flush, but Luke is trying to mark them. It's the Rita's B.
Bedtime
but
Stories
Tico
on
in the
Daredevil.
back finds Bedtime Story right at a different
GG.
off angle.
Dropping backwards
No
once
hate though,
more.
but like,
Lunex
Oh my
still
goodness.
with a slight ult advantage.
like if we fumbled in the
We're gonna see
draft,
a
if
lot of
Bedtime
commitment
Story
here
has
as
to be
Raging
our
Royal
Rita
Flush
on
is available
Daredevil.
and soon to be Pizza with a second
Thanks
one.
for the sub,
But
Caleb. I
team
appreciate
needs
it.
to ensure they find value off of this first pick because there will be an answer of the dance floor. Tones will have Cap's Freedom Charge. There will be a Sia available. There's a lot that they can do. Gale with the engagement's able to find one that is huge for Gale. Out goes that dance floor. The sun comes through. Silent Blaze with some positioning, just holding right now, knowing there's way
thanks
too
for
much
the 5
commitment to
bits,
commit
man.
that
Really
Sia
appreciate that piece.
when that Ensong Inferno is out. So now that Phoenix used ult, he can feel confident using that.
Thanks, bro.
Iffy with another pick on to Cal. There's going to be more value, but Pizza copies up and starts once more with another Royal Flush. And that is still going to be a back
Practicing
and
it all
forth.
night.
Tico
And it doesn't
is the
matter.
next
It's
one
too
to set
late.
the
Like,
pace
why are they
with
even picking this
BTS,
character?
and they still
They haven't
have
practiced it
this
at all,
199.
and any of their
Phoenix
like
are playing this
at all.
so
Ever
well.
since the character
Silent
came
Blaze
out, and now you're
honestly
just
the
picking it a
MVP
day
and
with
holding
like
on to that
practicing a
BRB.
day
You
before your
talk about
match.
it
That's just
perfectly,
brain
Shiv.
dead.
You see that the
You'll
Ensong
never catch
Inferno's
up to
ending,
like other
you
people
go
who've been actively
ready,
playing
and you
since
put down
release.
the Sia,
It's like
and
me
you
just
win another
deciding
team
I'm
fight
gonna
with no
play Jean
contention
Grey in my
from
match
TSM in
tomorrow.
this first round.
So let me play it in ranked real quick.
Yeah, like you said
It's
with
like,
Silent, just
doesn't make sense. You
essentially
need
waiting out
like
the fight, knowing that, hey, we're already at 90%. If we lose this fight, it's whatever.
Need
But I'm
time.
not going to commit my Sia because if that Phoenix Ensong Inferno lands anywhere near me, it's gone immediately, just a waste of an ultimate. Or as soon as they heard that commitment, knew it was game over, pop that Sia on point, and they win it. Lunex decidedly taking map 1. TSM got to rethink some things.
Wondering, what do you change out here? Was the Phoenix swap up a little too late? They kind of grouped up together. The thing really not providing the value that the goal of the thing wants to get when if he's literally diving into your back line, but then you're getting torn apart, looking behind you, not allowing your team to feel enabled. Guru.
Thanks
hovering
for
over
the
the
gifted
Doctor
abs, I
Strange here,
appreciate it,
maybe
bro.
trying to go for an early
Hope your
portal
games
place, so that
went
way
well
they
after
can
our
get set up
session.
even earlier.
Yeah, I like what Gilbert's doing. You got to commit. Oh, I was going to say commit with your dive. It looks like BTS is making the switch to Psylocke.
Yeah,
so
Gilbert's a
that's
real
going to be
good.
the new dive route. They're not going to stay on Daredevil there, but you've got to try to trade back
really
lines
need to
because right
increase your
now
hero
there's
pool.
so
No,
much
my hero
on your
pool's
back
good.
line. You need to try to do the same to them. They're trying to protect, and it's
The
just
GD
not
ban was
working.
Aurora? Yeah,
so
I mean,
that's the
it's just
change
the
that
best
needs to
character in
happen.
the game.
I'm
It's
curious
how
if
they
it's going
like
to
to
work
play.
out, but I like the idea.
Oh, that is what they're going to do.
Yeah,
They're
I'm alright,
trying to
Destiny.
open up immediately with that. Maybe try to contest here up on the high ground where Ritas is trying to get some information together with Tones, looking to dive on the same opponent together with a 3-2-1, and they try to cut off
Well, I'm
at
not
least
alright
their
right now,
entry
but I will
position
be.
between Lunex. Interesting, and they find Blaze. Silent Blaze literally gets jumped up on the high ground, so down now an entire strat, which means they also don't have that BRB.
Yeah, good commitment there by TSM to make a play early on to get them up in numbers.
86 for the prime, bro. I
Oh my
appreciate it,
goodness,
peace.
so much damage goes out. The Paddock aching for days, staying healthy. Gilbert Noodle able to find one onto Tico, and that's another number up here. As Silent Blaze comes back, the BRB is out and ready.
man.
So the next trade will go back in their favor. Gilbert Noodle with another pick out of Logan. Not sure it was in the range of the BRB. It was not. So they still will have point advantage in numbers, and now TSM is figuring things out. Iffy going to be res with that BRB, so they will stack faster and come back as a unit.
I like backing away here from Tones, though. Just regroup, wait for everybody. Look how much the foundation crumbled the moment that they dove and jumped Silent Blaze at the very beginning here for TSM. Now they're about to have a good amount of ultimates online in just winning that neutral fight just based off the portal. And Lunex are just trying to take this slow because look at Tico. He's got that Apex Predator ready to go.
Yeah, and that is a problem. Gale is available with ultimate as well with that end song. And that could be another answer to some of this stuff, especially if you think you can wait for the rocket, if your team can stall on this point. Right now, Lunex is almost, oh, you can't allow that. And Lunex just takes the point from them before any fighting begins. Bedtime, able to find Tico, looking for another. Seeing that BRB is huge find. Noticing the rocket healing from back there.
Would you ever play
Make
DPS
that chase
Pool
happen,
Tank
but
Pool?
Ritas
No,
is
that
going to be able
character's
to
fucking
find Pizza
horrible.
Demon. Do we see more play here? No, nobody. Still even trades right now. The BRB obviously not up and available. Logan starts the dance floor. Guru holding on to ultimate with Gilbert Noodle, and there is that. Oh, I does not want to land.
Yeah, I know
and
stinkers.
Tones find two more,
I think
and
we
now
could have a
Lunex
chance of
will
winning there,
retake
but
it
to
home.
be honest, we trolled our attack
Logan
for
with a
like
dance off, restabilizing Lunex, and they have not gotten off his point one after the other as they fall. Regis finds another one, and
like
Logan puts
we
the nail
won
on top
attack,
into
like we
Bedtime
capped the
Story,
point like
who
4
was
different
struggling
times, bro.
on
Like I
finding that
remember
pickoff onto Silent Blaze.
we killed 2, we
Yeah,
killed
I mean, you can't give the point.
their
before you
Mantis
commit
and
the fight.
Sue. They had no
just gives
TP
them
back
even more
because
time.
Kendrick
Now
went
they
for
were
that
even in
dog shit
percentage
counter
before
portal.
they even lost
They have no
everybody.
TP, they're
TSM
down
needed to
2,
stagger,
we're
and
up
just try to
6, and we
hold
lose
just
the
buy
fight.
time on
Like,
that point to get
like
the
everyone's
strategy.
alive,
And
we
know
lose
that
the
they lost
fight.
the fight at that point, but instead, losing
It shouldn't come
halfway
down to
through,
that, you
other
know?
Stuff is just unfortunate. Just unlucky timing as Iffy finds one. Regis
Like, yeah, I
and
can sit here and
Tico
say to
find
myself,
3,
if I channeled
and
my
you can't
res
let the
earlier while the
momentum
Hulk was
affect you now
ulting,
after TSM.
because I should have
Lunex is
anticipated
going
that
to be down
Skier
and
was
ultimate.
going to
You
get
have
booped
that
away
freedom
and
charge
didn't have
you can
LOS
build
on me.
quickly for the back line.
A good position to be in here.
But, like, it
especially when you're
shouldn't
looking
come
at
down
Pizza
to that,
Demon
like,
and Gilbert
super,
Noodle, who
super
have both of their
fucking,
ultimates.
like,
Piece of the
micro
Abyss with
decision
that
for the
big
entire
Anthony
series,
Tones
you know,
right
like,
there
we
to help
lost well
back
before
up
that.
Logan
Our attack
and
was
Silent
horrible.
Blaze. Keep your eyes
Our
too
draft
on
was
Tico,
good, our
who's gonna
comps
be able
were
to try to
good
take a
across
different
the
angle,
board.
but look behind
Like,
you
we had
instead.
winning comps in
TSM
draft
are
to every
looking to
map.
try to back cap Gilbert Noodle, trying to play a little tricky, forcing Lunex to give up
Yeah,
their
I did,
aggression
Merp.
in this choke.
There's the commitment. Down goes the feast. Onto the
God,
strategist that
these
we're
hills
talking
over.
about.
Thanks,
Great
bro.
work there by the side of Tones to get back and keep the team healthy with that freedom charge. Immediately committing, but out goes BTS with a huge
What's up,
goal.
young
Able to
lord?
find Logan talking about that pressure on to the Luna, and it does
Gotta
work
focus on the
exactly
future.
like we had mentioned. Is now going to try to
Yeah,
find the time to get back
but, like,
on that
part of
point. It's
improving
very
is
low
looking
in
at the
HP. Good
past.
movement though, and great work by the strategist to keep eyes on in a tight time like this. Now here comes the commitment from Daredevil onto the back line. Is able to escape now. If he going to commit with the Feast of the Abyss, does that one find value? And now the Rage and
Play
Royal
tomorrow.
Flush,
We're the last
everything
game
is
tomorrow
committed in
versus
this
SSG.
fight. TSM needs to win this to move forward in this matchup, but Lunex doing a great job just spending time and stalling, knowing they still have points.
All that dance of the Cutterfly used up just for the BRB to bring back Logan, and now have the dance up to keep the sustain. If he finds another victim here, the whale comes crashing down, and before it sinks the ship, the rest of Lunex have wrapped up around TSM. Only so much the Namor can do before they drop like flies, and Lunex are looking to take this map.
Lunex looked so strong there, running that Daredevil to another level, applying so much pressure onto the back line, doing a great job in engaging together and then disengaging, just forcing out cooldowns and not worrying about if they needed KOs. Coming back together, getting those KOs, and then taking the point. I mean, it looked clinical right there. Really well done.
Logan is such a good strategist too, right? Even though we saw him go down that one time, that BRB, the cover, the insurance policy of that BRB was just so impactful for the lineup of Lunex. Look at this. He's gone down twice. Logan, too, that second time that we saw 21K on the board. The difference between the backline that was harassed by Iffy, who was a huge MVP, in my opinion, in the way that they were able to be so impactful. Tones didn't even go down a single time.
Yeah, I mean, shout out again to the Vanguard frontline. This whole team is looking so good.
Y'all
on the
beat
side
these
of
two
Lunex.
teams?
They just are applying so much pressure. They're very comfortable
Yeah,
in this
I mean,
kind of meta.
like,
but they're running this cap.
we
running
should have
this
beat. Yeah, we
venom,
lost.
And just keeping
should beat
on
these
the
two
pressure of the back line.
teams.
I mean, you look at Logan.
Like,
I need to
I
shout
feel
this
like we
out.
should
You talked about being
do
you know,
really,
one of
really
those
well in our
strategists
bracket.
that's
I
kind
feel
of
like, in my
dangerous
mind, the
against
only
a dive
acceptable
meta.
loss is
And then
to
only going down twice is a testament to
TLC.
some insane positioning. You talked about
That's
few
the only
picks that
game
did
where
go
I'm like,
through on
okay,
Logan,
like,
were BRB'd right back and then coming back in with an
they're really
ultimate,
good. They have a lot
not
more
committing the
experience,
ultimate
and
too
that's like
early.
it's
That just
reasonable if we
takes
lose
another
this
level of
series. But now,
strategy.
like, we should never
Again,
lose to any of the
Lunex,
other
even the
teams,
back
bro.
line looking clean. This whole team is stepping up for sure.
It's just so
It's
tilted.
another example, too, of a team like TSM who wants to put the save onto the Gambit, but not really being able to utilize it fully. Let's see what the different look of the pick and ban phase, though, is going to look like on the other side of this break for game number 2.
Yeah, I'll try my best. KJ.
Welcome back, everyone. Zoe here, joined by Ship and Vicky, and we just got to see a dominant performance from Lunix, a team that really impressed us yesterday already in their opening match. And honestly, they didn't miss a beat. They continue exactly on that same trajectory, playing very aggressive, well coordinated, being so aware of their win condition. This is such a good look for them, and I think a lot of people have to reconsider their preps now generally for the preseason, because I feel like Lunix is probably ranking a lot higher than most people have put them.
I think I played fine on the other characters.
Teams are surprising me, right? Like, Vicky, these MRC teams really did come in hot. I think we all kind of assumed they'd struggle at this level of play, but
like, I'm obviously going to be best on Daredevil because it's the most time I have on Hero.
If you wanted more, and you could show up in these moments, what do you think?
It's not like I sold the game
just be the power
on other characters.
Like the
I actually played. I played really well in Starlord
pressure and representing like such a prestigious org, right? So now you kind of could just go and unleash.
I didn't play perfectly on Adam. I definitely made some mistakes.
More of that cohesion together, and
same with Namor, but like it wasn't like I was like hard fucking trolling running the game down or anything like that. Like I wasn't carrying, but
really
it's like
off versus TSM in that Krakoa match. But we are
moving on
to Central Park and Ship.
In that draft, I'm not supposed to carry the game. I'm supposed to enable Vision to carry the game.
It's a very good idea. You were kind of hinting at it at the very beginning before that first map, but it's important to know how TSM usually plays.
More time than Spidey? What do you mean?
To be honest, if I'm TSM, what I do is I would ban out all the dive struggle and not worry too much about things like Elsa Gambit.
Too. I played Wolf like okay. I could on more
the Venom, the DD, that should be your priority because you know that you can contest that kind of poke style better than you can with the dive. I think Venom is getting infinite value, and I think Venom is a slept-on ban right now that is not being banned out in the NA or North American regions like at all. So my personal take is we'll see more of that as the season goes on because he just gives way too much value right now.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is TSM just needs to prioritize the bans in order to shut down the dive from Lunix.
Exactly. Perfect.
Okay.
What do you think, Vicky? Anything I'm missing?
On paper, so easy.
Nope. No, I don't actually. And I feel like if you're gonna have to prioritize like having your Gambit on your team, look at the way that like we saw the answers from the other side, right? Like Lunix was always on top of it. Tico was popping off. Regis was constantly diving that back line. You're gonna have the Gambit. What use is the Gambit if the Rage and Royal Flush can't go online fast enough, right? And get the impact that you want to get when you're constantly playing mystery heroes too and finding your own way, because Gale then is forced to go over to the Namor. We saw the Phoenix at one point. Bedtime Story was struggling in finding the Rocket. We saw him take care of like the BRB machine once, but then at that point he couldn't take care of the Rocket in general because the Rocket was able to get help from the peels. It's a lot going into it, and I feel like TSM should just play into their strength.
Yeah, I think we saw the forced utilization of like crystals early on from Loki from the dive. Yep. There's that much presence that quickly, and you're forced to use cooldowns that fast. Your team is in peril, and they dropped out, came right back, found a sweep, and like you're saying, even through the Gambit Rage and Royal Flush, they were getting picks on Gambit instantly, and that just gets rid of the whole ultimate.
Yeah, this is match point for Lunix, our MRC team going up against TSM. Can they tie up the series? Let's find out. Guys, please take it away.
I'm looking forward to seeing if things change here, Vicky. We gave our thoughts, we gave our opinions. I'd like to see TSM step up here and push us to Game 3. Got a lot of friends on those teams. I know they're strong, very similar to Lunix. I love seeing these guys up at the top of the ladder, really showcasing the power of these heroes to another level. Let's see what happens on Match 2, Central Park Convergence.
I mean, these are individual players that have always shown us, Shib, that they have the talent to be able to really figure things out, but in a best of 3, time is of the essence, and now you have Lunix Gaming, our team from the MRC, sitting at match point. The double Elsa ban comes out, though, and that's the shutdown that we were wondering if we were going to see from the very beginning.
Yeah, removing the double Elsa again. For me, I think they didn't. Elsa wasn't necessarily the shining point. I think obviously a ton of value. 21-3, 11 finals is very important, right? But I think it was on the back of the fact that everyone was so distracted with the dive. You just couldn't even look at her because you had the DD, you had the Cap, you had the Venom on top of you 24/7, and we're gonna see the lock in here on Lunix to the side of that Van pool.
Something that we actually saw a lot of teams start banning out a lot more often here. We saw it just in our last game too. Sticking to that though, with no Gambit to play, TSM wiped that off the floor, so Lunix cannot capitalize. Instead, they hover over it. It didn't really work out for them. It could benefit Cal if he sticks to it, so it looks like that is the same thing that he's going to be slotted into.
Yeah, and we're going to see the removal now because they are going to get that Gambit. Similar story as what we saw before. No more Rogue. We know how powerful Rogue can be. At least they floated it. They might change their mind. You know what? They said, actually, Vanguard pool is a little bit too strong. And right now, I think they are winning the banning phase again.
it comes down to the pick and ban phase. It is so important. I mean, even within your own respective games, everybody in ranked, like this is where you could be losing games if you are not picking this pick and ban phase properly, especially when it goes into a snake draft similar to this before it gets the reset in the middle part of that fourth box. We see the Loki hovered, and it's going to be the double Loki ban back to back. You see the Gambit, you don't want to work with it, and since they haven't banned Gambit on the other side, Lunax do not want to risk dealing with a double Gambit God of Mischief copy.
Yeah, but they did open the window to allow them to be running that rogue, which is going to be something different, at least so far in this banning phase, to shake things up. Obviously, the map choice here, TSM, is going to be loving that Central Park. I think this is, you know, there's a lot of different things that can be run at this map. Again, we talked about seeing some flyers even in the EU side of things today on this map, because there's just a lot of different tight angles on the top side, and even on defense, you can play around those pillars on point one. But either way, we're going to see the removal of Invis now, making it even more diveable backline their only options.
And that's why you also see Loki prevailing on a map like this. So many different angles. So you take that off the table. No Invis as well. Prio, as we see the last protect over from Lunax Gaming side. We saw them try to prioritize, you know, the Daredevil before, which really allowed them to pop off. No more else on the table, and it's going to be the Jeff instead.
Yeah, I think Jeff is in a similar boat for the dive comp, right? They like to be able to have someone back there healing through the dive and just kind of committing with them, forcing out different cooldowns with ultimate and speed boosting. That's the key at this elo. I mean, if you get a speed boosted DD running after you, it's a whole nother level of terrifying. Speaking about nightmares, but we can see what they're floating now, right? Is across the board. There will not be an Elsa in the lobby, but I'm liking what I'm seeing at least so far. I mean, I don't know if Lunax is running this, but they've got some cheeky stuff shown.
Was this a bait? Was the protect on the Jeff the bait, expecting their Daredevil ban to come through? Because we know that if they didn't ban out that Daredevil, Regis was going to come out on that hero anyways.
Yeah, and we're seeing now. I mean, we always get baited, you and I, with these, right? There's some cool stuff they show. I'm like, there's no way they actually come out the door. I do think this is a really good group map, but I still don't think into this specific comp they're actually going to run it at. We haven't seen so much of it. Groot does a great job when there is a lot of commitment, a lot of brawl and stuff, just isolating lines of sight, because they're not going to have a lot of damage to burn walls, and becomes a second priority. And if you do forget about those walls, it gets infinite value. But yeah, you can see now the defensive side of TSM is going to be running Thing. They've got the Gambit, Star-Lord, which I think is a great pick because he can fit into a lot of these different comps with dive, with brawl, with poke. And then you have, obviously, the Heartbreaker out there herself, Rogue, with that damage boost, with that team up. I'm looking forward to seeing how it performs against this team.
Talent Blazer showcasing his knowledge around the Animal Crossing backline. I was going to say, maybe the Stark Protocol could come in clutch. I mean, with the amount of Ultrons now that we're seeing, Regis is sticking and committing to the Iron Man. Our second Iron Man in the back-to-back. I'm rubbing my eyes. Am I dreaming right now with the call-up and just trying to find out where everybody is? Literally the most America-toned setup that we have for our day 2.
Yeah, we talked about how in EU we saw some Human Torch here, and I guess Iron Man's still on the table. The fact that if you do get that boost there on that EU, essentially stay in that form forever. And a lot of folks think laser is the way, but just the primary left click, when you have a damage booster like that, a lot of AoE potential, giving you more KO potential. As we're saying, that Guru is just deleting Regis out of the sky. Goodbye. One up here for TSM early on in the fight, setting the tone.
Just heading up here, though, with Regis being the first one knocked out. You wonder, right, we're going to see that swap up coming out. That's what I was expecting. Okay, a little bit more traditional. We get to see more of that Psylocke with Cal being on the white box, too. Moon Knight coming out of Tico, though, is just so that way you can try to break through this choke, expecting that double Vanguard to really come out to play. And the triple Vanguard here with Guru already trying to take the fight closer to this choke. That's what I like to see before backing in, because Pizza Demon is close to that Raging Royal Flush. Oh!
Going down early. We are going to see the commitment there from Tones out of the back line, and Tico is holding on to ult available too. They might want to combine here with the Groot Knight combination, and Iffy switching over to that Groot, doing exactly what I discussed, placing walls out. They become a secondary thought, and now they just dominate this side of the map. They cannot pressure through it, and this should give them enough time to push all 3 points. Oh, the touch comes through, the portal comes through. Early enough from Guru after the first pick, great play, but immediately they lose one, and again, these walls are dominant. They have not found a way through them. What a play here by Lunax, but the Gambit never falls. The Raging Royal Flush, and there goes the ultimate. Can they clean through it? They do. What a pick there on a Pizza Demon.
No, Iffy is having their own highlight reel themselves, because he has been on fire from the very beginning. A man of many words, I am Groot. They wipe the floor here, just one last member, a slight little stagger onto Guru. And now Lunax Gaming start moving on to this payload.
Yeah, I made a call that I said if any of these Garoots hit some fat alts, I might have to buy the team skin and showcase it. And right now, Lunex, that was a crucial alt. May not have been the biggest, but getting rid of Gambit in that moment with Prio, knowing that the cards have been utilized, likely counting cooldowns like that, was a genius and smooth play. Gave them the point. 4 minutes for point 2 here.
A lot of time to work with here, and at least CSM do have these 3 ultimates to try to retake this point, but Redis is ahead of them, tries to catch them, but finds the Gambit here together with Iffy. Redis backing away, also force out Cal to utilize that White Fox ultimate, and with Happy Holidays, maybe a little too early, finds at least one with the Galactic Legend, stopping Iffy, who's been a menace onto that back line.
And BTS, I did say I think this pick is good, right? Because this is kind of fits into everything, and it also plays into his strength. We see Tico playing that story more, taking out Guru early on. Gilbert Noodle finding one here on the cap, looking for Silent now, who's able to escape at least for a moment. Gale with some pressure on a Tico right before that attack. Is crazy timing, and this is a good retake here from TSM, attacking from a bunch of different angles at once. This is the style of play they need to play together. We talked about them being more divey, and this is exactly what we were looking for.
Just a pixel away from hitting that health back. This is the individual members of TSM that I remember. Gale on the Hulk. We're seeing a lot more Hulk this time around. Logan just going to be able to drop that Beaver pick as well as some extra healing before making that swap up over to the White Fox too. Gale gets stunned. Look at the damage out right now that Gale is taking before trying to back away. They shut down the Wolverine pick here too, as if he does have the anti-heal ready.
Yeah, that ult was a little cosmetic. Not much you can do in front of that many people. The idea was there, but that was just so much damage so quickly. And here goes the Raging Royal Flush. Can they find some value off the back of that? The pick comes through here. Gale finding one on the Logan.
Nice.
And Song Inferno, bang, lands. Does not find too much value just yet, but the team is still holding on right at the spawn door. This is the TSM we need to see here if you are a fan of TSM.
But meanwhile, Logan and Silent Blaze close to those ultimates to try to break through this chokehold, but my eyes are on Bedtime Story. He's gonna be flying around. He's got that Galactic Legend ready. Guru opening things up first, though, terrorizing that backline. Cal trying to go in and slide through with these claws before backing away. They don't want to try to overextend. They're trying to count out on where Lunex Gaming is, specifically Bedtime Story, who has the Galactic Legend.
Yeah, but that is, you know what? You don't miss when you're in this ultimate, so you won't get the effect of the constant missing ability, but I think there still kind of was the fear there. He didn't want to hold left click in that moment. Redis able to find Gilbert Noodle, and that's going to start the momentum in favor of Lunex, who now has ult advantage just slightly. Cal, though, with the Fox in there. Go, what does the Fox say? Comes right in, takes out Tones immediately. A huge start, but the Itch Chef goes down. Out goes a huge iframe here from Gale to hold on to point. Looking for a pick, a ton of damage. This one not so cosmetic, looking like a problem installing for days. 500 HP in a dream. What a tackle here. Can they follow up on this pick? We'll find out in a moment.
Slams him down to the floor, takes a lot of damage, but with the Raging Royal Flush from Pizza Demon, it's not enough with the sustainability onto Gale. He's booted into the Bruce Banner form while Tico goes in for a reset. TSM, the back-to-back, but the slam down off of Redis may not have found the impact that they wanted, but at least it found the impact onto one of those strategists onto Cal. Coming back together, it's going to be Gilbert Noodle with the Freedom Charge, hailing everybody to move up into the spawn room gates that is Lunex. They have not been able to leave this corner for so long, Shib.
Yeah, I gotta say it again. TSM found their footing. They're finding a comp that works for them, and shout out because it's looking really good. Despite the fact, you know, that right now they're getting walked down a little bit. They do not have ult advantage. What a shot there by BTS. Ew. Do I see more? What an escape in the moment too. But yeah, they're starting to come into their own into this meta. This is the kind of comp you need to run into a more divey style composition. You need to be brawly. You need to be ready to just tackle them on team, play aggro with your ultimates, stall the point. The point is barely moved. It was over 4 minutes, and we're at 28 seconds. Well done by TSM. Lunex, though, with ult advantage, can make something happen.
Gale's had enough. This is the Gale that we have seen so many times. The Hulk is out. He's upset. And Lunex have all the answers, though, to deal with it. Tones going to be able to open things off with that tank full ultimate, but taking everything with the Heartbreaker is going to be Guru. Gilbert Noodle falls incredibly low. He gets saved for now. Cal backs away, and with the Happy Holidays, do they have the answer? Gilbert Noodle finds it in the process. He tries to follow him up. Silent Blaze pops the Itch Chef to at least scoop up his teammates if he can, but it scares everybody away from Lunex from the point.
Yeah, TSM, that looked more like a team that can get this season done and look at doing it. I mean, I think this is the confidence booster they needed. But again, this is very much a defensible position. We've seen holds here on point one plenty of times before. I will say, though, it's pretty difficult to hold the second point that tight to the spawn with that much advantage. But somehow they did it. I can see the momentum shifting back in their favor. Will they be able to press through point one, though?
Literally, though, because when you usually see a hold on that second point, you usually have teams that could move up and try to control that left side corner from the defensive side. But you'll have at least enough time with the way that we saw Lunix originally on the attack take over that point to move up. But they were getting shut down constantly as TSM had rolled out.
We're to see what they elect to do on both sides off the rip here. Obviously, TSM can decide their comp a little bit longer than Lunex, and you can see what they're running, more traditional here. Tones making the switch though over to Hulk. Actually, no, back to Vanpool. I was gonna say I was surprised Vanpool was getting dropped, but this is one of those rare occasions that we haven't seen as much value from Vanpool as we normally would. And I think there's just so much pressure on their back line and that they can't walk the point. They're just playing full like beef comp on point that there really is no way for them to try to find an off angle onto a strategist.
I feel like it's also like the threat of Gale, who is trying to juggle them around, bounce them like a basketball here, rather on the other side here from Lunix too, where they've been having to deal with that. So he's not really getting that mobility that he wants to get and trying to get away and have that impact. If he's being on the Magneto though, as if he has been popping off before, Logan already getting set up on the high ground, a note where TSM wants to roll out.
And we're to see what happens here. Ultimates are beginning to charge. Slight advantage on the side of Lunex, who's holding this Ike. Gale already taken off and getting onto point. There's a lot of chaos already happening, and this is exactly what a Brawl comp is looking to do. Stack up and just send it as a unit. Try to divert some of that damage to different heroes at the same time. Rita's going to be making that switch in play. That Star-Lord who's going to dive onto the Gambit in the backline. Pizza Demon, half HP in a Dream. Gale able to find Logan early, making it two-piece now. Playing this work and make it three. Just absolutely devastating the backline.
He's waving at you back in the spawn room gates. Unfortunately, once again, the Thankful just not finding that value. Meanwhile, Ritas comes flying in today, and Lunex are trying to clean up the point. Ritas can only do so much before finding Cal isolated in the backline. Is going to be able to teleport back to the safety of one of their teammates before Tico tries to back away because they want to try to re-engage with this portal from Tones.
Yeah, the life is very much back here for TSM, but Lunex, even through that early loss in numbers, still held on, and that just shows a testament to the team feeling confident and being able to rely on comms. The portal coming through, though, is a cooldown that they're very happy to burn. They will not be able to get that cooldown back unless it's deep into overtime. A 3-minute cooldown, only 2 minutes and 40 was when it was launched. They need to hold that OT for 20 if they even want to chance the portal back once more. And forced onto Strange, who I do think is strong, especially since Logan is also on that invis. Here goes the Raging Royal Flux. They need to find value out of this if they want to push through point one, and they do just that as Tones and Logan goes down. Guru is going to use that team up there on the side of Rogue to find more value, but even through that great stacking as the team now should likely be taking point one, heavily up in numbers.
You don't even need a combo in general because even if you have that Galactic Legend together with the Raging Royal Flush, you have Cal coming in to clear the rest of the point together with Gale, who is just juggling the rest of Lunex. They get this payload moving finally. I mean, now they already had to use up the portal, but a great stall does come out from the Venom. They try to bounce him back away. They try to get the grab, but they still haven't been able to fully flip the point.
Wow,
oh
I cannot believe what a retake here. That's insane. Tico coming in and finding one off the back of the invisible boundary. Forcing out another cooldown. BTS should have a free ult here, but either way, what a retake and touch with a minute and 37 on. And they completely own this point. Bad time, able to find Ritas though. Still holding on to that ultimate. Logan says, I'll take Gale and trade that one back, but we'll see what happens. They need to attack quick. Even in numbers with ult advantage, there is going to be the answer from the Meteor M from Iffy though, which is likely what he's holding on to.
Holding on to for that Galactic Legend too. If he's just holding to see where he's gonna try to contest from the high ground, Galactic Legend comes out to play. If he gets stunned, he uses a Meteor M. Can they find him? Tones also has the ante with the Piece of the Abyss before you see Gale jump in. Pizza Demon in some trouble, and with the Sia, that's a lot of damage coming up from the Lunex as they once again are shutting down TSM. Look how close they were to originally flipping that point, and Lunex have been able to trickle in to stop them time and time again.
Silent Blaze's BRB, again, more and more value. They're finding these picks and they're thinking to themselves, we're up in numbers, commit, and then the pick is gone because the BRB is there, and that just seems to be getting slept on here. There is no ult advantage for TSM. They are down to 40 seconds. Lunex playing lights out on this defense, even losing some of these fights, forcing slow-paced retakes, using the Venom to the best of his ability from Tones to buy more time. They're going to have Feast and a huge opportunity with the dance of the Cutterfly from Tico. Here comes the Feast. Gambit charging in with the Rage Royal Flush. Maps on back. The team stacks together as Gilbert Noodle finds the pick first onto Logan, and they're still walking. Is that going to be enough now? Looking at Venom with no HP, does use that E cooldown very low, and Gilbert Noodle is able to find Tones. This might be enough for them to take point one.
It's the fact that he was trying to live for so long looking like a cockroach. It's a Galactic Legend before Cal now splits his attention and gets the charm pick off of Iffy. Read us to the skies here. Bedtime Story, though, takes control, finds a 2K, and they finally flip the point with little to no time on there.
This has been another beautiful watch. A ton of back and forth play here. Compositional switches trying to find solutions, and the teams are doing just that. TSM with 2 minutes and 13 seconds here to push this just a few more meters, 20 more until they take this home and push it to map 3, folks. Getting their first win so far of Ignite. BTS on the off angle. What a tackle there on Iffy. What a play there on the back of Guru's tackle. Huge play on the road. Commitment heavy now as BTS starts up in the sky with the Galactic Legend. The res comes right back onto Iffy, though. Another one of those massive BRBs. Cal finding Tones. Off angle from Tico, trying to find a backline pick here and prepping some of the Psylocke play. And Cal's looking towards, and what a play by BTS with some great aim onto Tico. This could be enough here as the numbers are falling. And it is. They push home this map, and we're going to map 3.
Oh, our second game 3 of the day, Shib, and our third game 3 thus far within the Americas region. Welcome, everybody, to the MRI.
Looks like you and I got some luck, buddy, as we are again going to game 3, and that was another heater. Changing up the ban phase just a little bit was enough for them, and I like to see the compositional switch from TSM. As casters, us personally, we just want to see game 3s every day of the week. I don't care who takes it home now. Good luck to both teams, and let's see what happens in this ban phase once more.
And they did what we wanted to see, Shiv. We wanted to see TSM roll out what we know they feel comfortable with. Bedtime Story's back at home. He's on the Star-Lord.
Yeah.
He was able to pop off. Look at this, 13 final hits. Why not, right? And even if you weren't, synced together with the Raging Royal Flush, Pizza Demon had to do that a lot for a lot of these re-engagements. Although their attack looked a little dicey when we saw them get 3 picks and still lose out on that first point, they were still able to take it over because they had so much progress already.
Yeah, so much to highlight here. Again, I think BTS on the Star-Lord is like a perfect mix of being able to dive while still staying hit scan. Like, that's the perfect hero for this situation. Also does a great job with ultimate, farming that out quickly, and, you can even do it before strategists. I would say, again, shout out to Cal, too, right? On the Fox, getting 6 finals, and a lot of that, frontline Vanguard stuff that we're seeing, for example, like the Venom, they struggle with Fox because you cannot out-pressure the self-healing.
It's a lot of pressure to deal with in general here. Before we get into the action and before we see how everything shapes up for our match number 3 in our game 3 here, don't go anywhere because we have a short break for you.
Welcome back. Zoe here, joined by Vicky and Ship. Ship, you seem to be the good luck charm since this is another map 3 for us. Like, blessed. What a fantastic day of matches. Really, these teams came back on day 2 ready to redeem themselves.
Absolutely. It's so tough to try to judge a team after one day, right? Because especially day one when you got nerves. I mean, it is so easy to judge from afar until you're on the stage with eyes on, until you have the nerves and you're in the moment against some of the best talent in the world, right? And we're seeing compositional changes that did not happen yesterday absolutely work for them. What do you think, Vicky?
More Hulk? More Hulk? Well, we are here to eat. I was just saying it in the break, man. Like, Gale was going crazy. Bedtime story. I felt like these teams are back in form with what they feel comfortable with. Sometimes you have to be the pacemaker in where these metas are, right? And you got to play to your best of your ability. Shib, you were highlighting that before we dove into game number 2. They kind of heard us through the grapevine. They threw out with it, and they played so well before we now move on to Midtown.
Another one of those brawl maps, though. We might see some thing play, some triple hold off the rip. This is going to enable some stuff that we haven't seen between these two comps or these two teams just yet. Wondering who can maybe do the spawn break or who can do the spawn hold better. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of that and if they have any unique takes on that.
It looks like both of you have clairvoyance enabled, though. I feel like you've been calling it after every map into every next one. Like, you're kind of calling those bans, you're calling the compositional changes that need to be made. TSM finding their footing, right? They're playing more into that brawl. It looks so much stronger for them, and it really is dismantling the Lunex dive, which has been so oppressive in that map 1.
No, it's a great call. And you know, I do think in their strengths, in terms of teams that have a good triple break, I think TSM might be up there at the top. Bedtime Story is one of the best Moon Knights in the game, and Moon Knight, especially with the Storm Boost, is one of the major common answers for a triple hold. And Midtown is one of those maps, just like Yggdrasil, that typically always has some sort of triple hold defense if you want to min-max how to play the map, right, Vicky?
Yeah, that's what you have to do to try to break that hold and try to get those ultimates online even faster, so that way you could try to cut off any sort of exit route with the Hand of Khonshu, even with the Omega Hurricane here. But we got to see now, as our match 3 seems like it is ready, and I'm excited because with Cal also stepping up on the White Fox, showcasing that the Gambit and White Fox combo could absolutely work together.
Yeah, White Fox plays a ton of fun.
Yeah, and honestly, like, every single White Fox player has been bringing their A game so far, so I'm super excited to see more of that. It's been a back and forth series between those two teams. Lots of compositional changes and switches midway through those maps. Let's see what they got for us in map number 3.
Let's dive in and see if anything shifts up here. We're going to have TSM attacking first against Lunex's defense. This is where we're going to get an idea of what they're trying to do for either spawn hold or spawn break, or if they're electing to not deal with it at all and just keep it traditional. But, you know, if we've learned anything, seeing what they're floating here on these screens, and just for everyone to understand, this is a tournament client. Everybody has the maximum lord if they want to on every hero. So, you know, maybe don't, you know, take that with a grain of salt, but we see the removal again of Elsa, very similar to last match.
I'm happy you brought that up here, Chip. I always forget, too, when we get to take a look at these beautiful banners, because I'm always so fixated on the animation and how nice it looks as we get to look at our next ban. No Elsa, the Gambit Protect comes in this time from TSM. Feeling pretty comfortable with that after what they witnessed with Pizza Demon kind of shaping things up together with Cal, but also enabling Bedtime Story and putting Gale into that right position when he was on the Hulk.
Yeah, similar ban phase here where they're going to remove the Vanguard pool and allow themselves to run it from the side of Lunex. You know what? You and I kind of touched on it last map. It didn't have as much value as it normally does. I do think he's an incredibly strong Vanguard, and he does a decent job front to back, does a decent job into Brawl, does a decent job into Dive, but he just couldn't get to the back line because there was just way too much beef on point in front of him.
He was just getting tossed around too, like the stuns as well. Like, good luck trying to bounce on heads before you get back to your team, before you find yourself back in the spawn room gates. But maybe with a little bit of extra room, and once you get through that choke, it could be a bit better. Looking on the other side, though, you got the Loki ban. You don't want to be able to get that double Gambit. If you could see that could come out, it's a Daredevil from Lunix. They wanted this in that last round, and they were unable to put Raidus on it because that was the last ban that TSM had put out.
Yeah, I'm curious what they're going to do now. I don't think it's a bad idea to maybe get rid of the Venom if you have something free, if you're kind of thinking. I think it would throw them for a bit of a loop as they do want to run with that dive. But it looks like they're electing to think maybe Jeff here because this is very much one of those Jeffs or maps where we talk about that primary fire line of sight is just a consistent single lane map where you're going to get a ton of healing and damage at the same time.
And though Jeff as well, you got the now triple strat ban coming out from TSM. They're lingering over what that last protect is looking like. They try to prioritize the Rogue when they had saved up on the Gambit. Is that going to be the next protect here? As they're leaning into it, it's going to be the Loki. They rather prioritize the double Rage and Royal Flush to take that off the table because we did see Lunex. They did ban out the Loki, I believe. Rather, they wanted to try to deal with it, thinking that that's kind of something that they wanted to lean into. I believe it was our first map, Shib, where they kind of didn't really deal with the Rogue because that was kind of their prio.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I think there's even more value in saving the Loki here. Although, like you're saying, the double Rage and Royal Flush is huge. It's also really good for Triple to have a Loki because you having those crystals, you know, we talk about with more neutral in the game, cooldowns like Bond, cooldowns like crystals, although Adam obviously got hurt with the healing amount, so that affected him. But Loki didn't, right? So Loki having those crystals in the neutral is essentially like having an ultimate when you don't have your ultimate because it can negate ultimates, it can full heal your team in 3 different locations, essentially invulnerability. He is a huge pickup for a triple hold.
That's a very good point, especially when you're going to be expecting that triple Vanguard as well before TSM start rolling out together here. And Lunex already sticking to Iffy being on the Venom, who again, we've talked about a lot. The Venom has been getting a good amount of impact, but it's about that follow-up potential that's going to allow Regis to really shine.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is the comp that they like. They have a lot of dive potential here. TSM, they felt comfortable on that last run. Do they think they can do it again? Right now, there is not going to be the traditional triple-triple. I think Lunex is more confident in just consistently diving backline on point and not worrying too much about just stalling as much time as possible. And it seems like TSM knew this is coming, whether it's from scrims or just understanding this team. They're not even coming out with a spawn hold breaker, knowing that they don't need to do that right now.
Actually expecting that, you know, maybe they weren't going to be the ones dealing with the triple Vanguard. You just see that flipped up on the other side, but forcing out on the attack. Guru! Do my eyes see me going back to the Pride and True Guru that we have seen before onto the Angela. Pizza Demon being on that Loki. And then you have Gale that swings out on the Hulk, doing exactly what we saw in that last map. Good protection here too, stopping the Venom from trying to get away, but it's also forcing Lunex Gaming to give him the space and respect.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know Gale had the Hulk in the bag, but I'll tell you what, it's been huge so far. See if it continues to be as massive in these matchups here. TSM getting a lot of space early on, already halfway through point 1 so far. Rita's doing a good job holding this off angle. What a pick there on a BTS on the right side through the door. That was dirty. Rita's obviously very strong in this hero. That's why they keep prioing, keeping this hero in terms of the ban phase.
And the follow-up too, right? You saw Toast put down that bubble to kind of isolate them from being able to get heals in that very last second. Good awareness here before Regis turns his attention to help Gale get enabled as well. As you can see, Gale just trying to help them from the left side. Bedtime Story trying to get into position. The God of Mischief is almost on line 4. Pizza Demon to get marked, putting down the lamps and get the Rage and Royal Flush.
Ooh, and there's that commitment onto the Luna that we've been mentioning early on in domination. If you hear that Rage and Royal Flush and you're on Luna, you gotta run. You gotta skate away because there's a lot that they can do to you and a lot of height, and that is gonna be a sweep. But Iffy finding Cal in the mix there is a huge pick, as Cal obviously did not commit all in at that point. It was at 91%, would have been a big problem if they followed up with another. Iffy trying to find some value in just stalling point at this current moment. Oh, full HP too, not gonna be worried at all, and can clearly use dive away at any point. There it is. Commitment now from Gale on the Hulk. What a combo! Able to find Logan again. Oh. This dude is different right now on the Hulk. Finding another pick, potentially, with another combo. Are you kidding me? Come on now, Gale.
Where can he go? He's getting tossed around and there's nothing you can do. You just have to look at Gale with bleeding eyes. He lanes it all. It's clobbering time, a great shield though coming out as well to back them up. Sia activated the Dance of the Cutterfly, and as you see Bedtime Story move around, they wipe out the rest of the point.
That was a huge dance right there, finding 3 off the back of Gilbert Noodle, taking out 2 with just some haymakers on the thing. The Pain Brothers getting some action right now, folks. Remember, a little extra Gamma Gauntlets there for the thing, which, you know, you don't see as much at this level of play, but definitely viable into dive comps like this. Remember, folks, the Holy Trinity, Brawl's pretty good into dive, but, you know, Poke's not so good into dive. So making this shift is clearly working. Lunex trying to find a solution around it, playing some heroes that they're very comfortable with, but struggling on that first point.
Cue the intro. The Pain Brothers are here to play, and they're looking scary too, the way they're holding that front line. Gale backing away. They don't want to try to give up too much of that space. You see the shield that was already activated from Gale while Guru's flying around. Bedtime Story is looking for an opportunity to continuously harass his backline, but even more so, split this attention as Regis with the shotgun finds Bedtime Story.
That was nasty. The one pump right there was clean. Cal going to commit ultimate. Pizza Demon able to find one there onto Tico. Excuse me, Pizza with the ultimate in that moment. The copy up onto Cal. It's everyone moving with the Raging Royal Flush. The brothers on point just holding as another huge tackle comes in. It looks like essentially Guru's playing the peel game, but with Angela, anyone that applies pressure to the backline just getting taken a mile away and forced to use cooldowns to get out. This is working for TSM. They are finding their footing here.
I like this hold here too. The way that they're playing this so spread out, it's making Lunix look above them. They can't get through this choke. They find Iffy now as Tico goes for a Hail Mary on the Dance of the Cutterfly, but you have the Gambit that has all the cooldowns to just get away with the dash. Gil now has the reset available too if he needs to use it, and they may have to use it with Creedus. Popping this Judgment before coming in from the other side. Cal has that Raging Royal Flush, and they're just going to be able to get out of line of sight.
Yeah, Punisher Shotgun is a great answer into some of this brawl, so that's the idea with the comp here, but they wait that out, doing a great job just kiting it. Kiting means essentially just dropping back and then recontesting when they need to after the ultimate's committed, finding value after, as Gale takes out one, holding on to ultimate, waiting to the last possible moment, trying to look for Logan again with another combo. This is insane. Is this guy Oakman or what? Finds one more, but does go down into Bruce form here and is going to fall, but it doesn't matter because point 2 is taken by TSM.
Worth, that was so worth. Somebody check on Logan right now. He's trying to play the game, but this Hulk is so accurate to the T. It's been too much. And now we enter this third phase here too, Shib, where there's a lot more of these open sidelines, maybe even seeing some changes, but we're not going to see that from Lunix's side, as they're still sticking to their guns with Redis on Punisher.
Yeah, TSM's entered flow state right now. They're locked in. This looks like a refreshed team completely. Gale also, I mean, I can't say it enough. Shout out to, like, I did not know Gale had Hulk in the bag, but it's been looking like he's been playing Hulk his entire lineup here. Now, we're going to see what the commitment looks like at TSM is once again up in ultimate. What a shot here again by Redis. Insane tracking, finding BTS in that mix. Bottling time goes out. It's a few, but not enough. Trying to take out the Sia, and it does go down now. Great drop back into Crystal, talking about the value of that cooldown, keeping everyone up on point. And now here comes that shotty to stop some of the brawl on point, but now another Raging Royal Flush comes in.
Popping it so that way everybody moves up together. Look how quickly Lunix dipped. They said, I'm out before backing away, trying to wait out on the Raging Royal Flush. There's only so much you can do, but at least try to boost into those strategist ultimates with the amount of damage effect that they have. Rue's in trouble though, out of the line of sight of his own strats, and that's what you were mentioning too, Shib. Redis being on the Punisher, making these swap ups, but look at the damage output from the shotgun alone.
Yeah, that's what you're looking to do. There's so many big bodies on this team now that shotgun gets full value every single shot, and you're going to farm ult quickly when you're doing that much damage, and it clearly is the right option, but the question is it enough to stop this momentum that TSM has right now? Here goes the Dance of the Cutterfly, looking for one, and almost takes out Tones, who forces ultimate out to stay healthy. Great movement there. Gilbert finds one, Pizza on the Redis. The res comes through out of Redis, but Cal taking out Silent. Tico trading one. Another trade from Redis. BTS on a Tico. Redis again is absolutely on one here in the back line.
The follow-up from It's Clobbering time to find 3. No sustain, unfortunate. While they lost out on Cal first and then Pizza Demon later, Lunix has finally found their footing at the meantime to completely contest TSM, and they can get set up because now TSM are down to 1 minute and less than 35 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, shout out Lunix on that. They were down numbers heavily, and then just big plays from Redis, big plays from Tones there to just take it right back and stop the point. Again, like Vicky said, 1 minute 20 on, no ult advantage clearly yet. A little bit coming in favor of TSM in a moment. Gilbert making the switch here over to Groot into some damage of Punisher. See what that looks like.
Try to at least harass him, try to cut off his line of sight. Hale recognizes the problem. He tries to find him. He forces out the final judgment though. Oh my god, so look how quickly he gets melted down. And this is going to be a hard reset too. But at least you do force that out a little early so that way you can try to restabilize while you have time.
Yeah, I mean, that again, like you said, forcing that cooldown out, it gets a pick, which is valuable, but now you come back in, you're going to have a ton of ults here for TSM. Some answers from Silent Blaze, but not too much else. Actually, nothing else early on in the fight. Tones might find something because he's just, wow, built that ult insanely quickly. Tones already going to have the test available. And the Banhammer, using Banhammer now onto the back line. Try to buy time, not sure it finds enough value. We'll see in a moment. Silent Blaze way back, holding onto that Sia. TSM with almost 4 ultimates. Logan with a nice pick there onto Gilbert Noodle, who did have Strangling Prison. It's all about this final fight. Are they going to commit everything now? It looks like they will. BTS trying to land and get rid of the Sia. It does. Guru finding a 2-piece scale onto Iffy. 3 fall. Guru with another pick on the Silent Blaze. Is this going to be enough for the full push as Pizza takes out Logan? Just the stall here from Tico now. Will it be another full sweep of point 3? It looks like it will. Wow, it's going to be a stagger fest on point.
and they're just trying to stall for as long as possible. The clobbering time comes in from Iffy, but then you have to deal with the Raging Royal Flush, and you have no sustainability. This is just a matter of time before TSM wipe the floor against Lunex. They complete their attack. The PRB could help them out, but with no sustain, with Logan getting focused, there was no invisible boundary. I would not want to be the Invisible Woman on the opposite receiving end of that Hulk.
These are some MCU games. What am I looking at? Everything's down to the wire, back and forth. This is absolutely insane. And we're going to see now, and I do believe if you press through point one, it is an attack-sided map. We'll see if the same thing can happen here for Lunex on their attack. But TSM, knowing that this is game, set, match for them, there's a lot on the line. Is the pressure going to help them, or is it going to make diamonds, or hurt them, excuse me, or make diamonds? We'll find out in a moment.
Well, that's how it's made here. Silent Blaze also lingering over the Invisible, and Logan's like, I've had enough here. I gotta start fighting back. Gale's just been focusing down on them, maybe get some freezes, and we did see that at one point right before they got that second checkpoint, but it was too little too late, as you noted, Shib. And Gale had just done more than enough to be able to control that over by the spawn room gates of Lunex when they were originally on the defense.
Yeah, well, we're going to see what it looks like now. You can see the composition run out. Lunex looking at Iffy on the Groot, and that's going to kind of slow the pace here of the Brawl. Groot does a pretty decent job into Brawl because you cut off some of those LOSs when the front line dives in. You use your Ironwood wall. Sometimes, typically, you know, into certain comps, you try to hide that wall if you want to stay CC immune, but into a comp like this, you're going to throw it directly behind whoever pushes a little bit too far, and your team's got to focus with damage to burn it down, and that's why you're going to see Redis there on that Wolverine to stop some of this momentum, do some percent-based damage, and is that going to be the answer now? Lunex trying to find something.
Redis is still having their pop-up moments, even with that Punisher swap-off here, so they're very quick to make that adaptation. Iffy being on the swap-up, though, originally tried to open up the gates with the Groot, and then ends up going over to the Thing, noting that this has been a really big problem to deal with. Gale on the other side, you have to worry about the Angela too. He's a demon on the other side too, just making sure that you can hold a different split angle while Gilbert Noodle is going to be enabled.
And Redis is going to be on that Punisher once again. Playing in building. Oh my goodness. How? Okay, wow. I was going to say, Gilbert, HP bar dropped in a millisecond. Tones gets exiled for the moment. Redis, again, playing that Punisher to an excellent level. Is able to find BTS, who drops down low. Good tracking again. Looking disgusting on this hero right now.
His tracking's insane! The next victim, as Kiko is a nail in the coffin after all that damage impact from Redis. Tries to get another one. They move all the way up, and they're also able to get set up here. Oh, this is going to be a huge stagger. They're keeping Pizza Demon alive for now until the very ending shot from Redis stops him. Huge stagger fest. It's going to force out the portal play, and look at Guru, who's going to try to go on to the other side, use it to get out of their line of sight from the opposing end of the bus.
BTS finding one here. TSM needs to find their footing now. Lunex looking crazy at the moment. Iffy low in HP, but goes right back. Stays healthy. Tones, look at this positioning behind the back line. What an exile there from Gale. Just peeling that back line. Still a ton of HP, though. Guru in a dangerous spot, holding on to some cooldowns. Let's have those Gamma Gauntlets. Out goes the shield, but this time from Gale. The retake is there. Guru finds one onto the front line. Redis in a dangerous spot. 30 HP, still holding on and believing. 300 now. Well done by the back line, as the reset will come through. TSM heavy ult advantage in this next fight, though.
Quick move it, though, real quick from the Punisher. Redis is holding on. He has no judgment at the same time. Nice little stun, though, from the Phoenix before he moves up. Is enabled through the invisible boundary, too. Gale is going to be able to get that reset. It's going to be another push here from the other side as Lunex are struggling to find their footing and any impact from that final judgment, sadly.
We're gonna see now BTS with a three-piece on the back of that end song. Gale finds one, Cal with another, but that was some commitment of ultimate, still holding on. As you'll see, the ult advantage heavily now for this next fight will be in Lunex's favor. They need to find something big here with Logan, Iffy, and Tico. They could damage boost Wales, but it may not be enough to drop the triple Vanguard front line. They gotta look for that back line, but it's tricky when that back line has crystals available to stop something like that.
It goes hand in hand with what we were talking about before, right? You have to try to break through that choke when it comes to this triple Vanguard lineup. Trying to lead into the left side before you have the clobbering time. Logan also has a sustainability for Lunex to try to push in, and Tico could try to cut off the exit route with the whale.
Clobbering time comes out, and that's going to be a big stun there as we see Guru fall. Silent Blaze takes one. Redis now taking out Gale, and again, up in numbers is Lunex. With that ult advantage, Tico and Tones now do have Qs available to try to find some value towards the backline. Guru with that clobbering time. Gale pulling out the Hulk once more, trying to get a combo onto something, but that's going to be Tones who finds Pizza. Redis with one. Tones again onto Cal, and they are walking. That's going to be point one on the side of Lunex.
That's what I like to see. This is the impact that we needed to have with Tones being on the tank pull ship. That's the safety pick. We didn't see that right beforehand. And with Redis being on the Punisher, they answered back so quickly to this composition that TSM has rolled out with.
Yeah, this is looking a lot better right now. I think Tico even, you know, it's just surprising me here on the Namor is getting a ton of value. Again, Whale is obviously big, but I think it's just the pressure applied to a lot of this movement heading towards the backline with these squids. They don't have a lot of range damage to burst the squids down besides, you know, BTS with that focus. So it's just getting a lot of damage out there. And then when you have that Punisher shotgun, Punisher range and tracking that we're seeing from Redis, just too much to handle. See if they can keep this going forward and push this into OT.
Feels like the health bar is just put into a microwave. And with the copy, though, you got the Gambit Royal Flush. If he says, I'm out of there before backing away, they just want to... Oh, no! That is not what you want to see. The invisible boundary wasted as TSM win another team fight, wasting more time away from Lunex.
So plenty of time on the clock here with 2 minutes and 18 seconds, though, folks. Lunex down in ults in a specific fight. Cal holding on to the Raging Royal Flush, waiting until they overcommit a little bit in space, and they're going to send it towards this backline. See if they can find value out of it again. Redis in a dangerous spot in terms of HP, and here goes that commitment. There was a little bit too much of an overextend. When they're standing right there, Gale's able to find Tones, looking for another pick on the backline. Goes iffy instead on the front line from Cal. Another pick onto Redis, and they don't need to use anything else, just that Royal Flush, and that is the downside to allowing them to have the Gambit Loki. There was just constant flushes, and they are diving your backline like it's their job.
The Payne brothers have the Tim strapped up and they're ready to go. The Volk is here and it's got the reset available as well as the Meteor M from Gilbert Noodle. Yes, they used up on the Raging Royal Flush as well as the God of Mischief to copy another Raging Royal Flush, but Lunex do have answers. Redis does have that final judgment here before diving in. Here comes Gale to isolate them, splitting up more attention, but a big first pick from Redis forces out the reset here. Clobbering time to shut it down. That's what they were holding on for, but is it gonna be enough?
Find out if it is enough, but I'll tell you what, it's buying a lot of time. No matter what, a minute already down, a minute 10 seconds. Gale in a dangerous spot. Great positioning here by Pizza on that Loki. Here goes Redis now. This could be a problem. The Meteor M gets eaten. Way to block that there. I believe it was blocked with the bubble from Deadpool. So that was disgusting by Tones. That time Story's able to find Redis. Redis after picking off one. Tico with a two-piece now. Switching over to the Bucky. And getting off of that Namor, that's another pick. And they are heading towards point 2, but we're in final fight territory where the teleport will be on the line. All about these next two fights. Advantage for Lunex. Can they keep it up?
They don't burn it just yet, holding on to it up their sleeve with the way that Lunex need to close in this gap. And with Silent Play swapping over, by the way, to the Cloak and Dagger, you have even more sustain with the Eternal Bond, which is coming up shortly.
Sorry about
God of
that.
Mischief gets copied. You can expect the Raging Royal Flush. Gale does get stunned in the meantime. The Invisible Boundary comes in from Logan, and this is going to enable the bucket reset, the Kraken impact, but it's all the Redis show as Tico holds up in the choke.
This is insane! All you hear from the clobbering time is it is gone. The cooldown being utilized. Lunex is on one, and they don't intend on stopping. Can TSM get their footing back? Because they had it for a while, but I'll tell you what, a minute and 30 is very difficult to push this point all the way. Defense gets spawn advantage towards the end. Will TSM be able to shut them down and not allow them to go to OT? As Lunex is looking like they cannot be stopped right now. Early portal comes through.
Oh, the early portal to cut off their entry point. This is a very hard spot to get out of on the attack. The Eternal Bond now comes in. The Raging Royal Flush is the answer back. They're playing around the portal, though, to get out of the line of sight as Tico does swipe his claws to take care of his Hulk. Eye of Agamotto finds two big picks. It only leaves Silent Plays alive, and there was no answer back because the Eternal Bond was already used.
That was a massive eye from Gilbert there, finding 4 after the fact. And again, the point, that early portal that we were talking about, when you leave Strange available, taking that portal right after the spawn is massive. They held on tight, and wow, what a bunch of plays so far. Both teams giving it their all. It's like a championship.
Tomorrow's a new day, mental reset.
You gotta be able to hold on to your seat, make sure that everybody is excited to see what is gonna play things out. As we currently see, Lunex Gaming, they've been able to try to force their way through this, but it has not been easy. This is a different TSM than what we were seeing just yesterday, Shib.
Oh, man. This is crazy. This has been a fun one to watch. What do you think so far, Zoe?
I mean, I'm super impressed, honestly, because we're seeing teams switch things up, like, you know, from yesterday to today, but it's TSM who's really making those adjustments as the maps go on, right? They have started to really find their footing. They started to find their style, something that worked, something that we did get to see from the core of that team just a few months ago. What is today? It's March, in February at the Mega Monthly, right? So, like, what is time? Yeah, so it's great to see them going back to things that they are so comfortable with, because initially in this series and also yesterday, they were just not comfortable in what they were playing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, even both sides now, it seems like for a while TSM had the upper hand, and now it's looking like they're going right back, and Lunax is trying to find some solutions, and they're changing things up and shutting them down. And I don't know, it's really anyone's game at this point, but I'll tell you what, I'm having a blast watching.
So am I indeed. I'm very excited to see how this series is gonna you know, wrap up, because it's still anyone's game at this moment.
Yeah, I believe we may be able to come right back around to see what's going on. But before we see how everything plays out, I was looking at the old economy before going into our quick break. Give us pause.
One move is cracking
the old
impacts.
economy alone being held rather in that spawn room gates after you get that second checkpoint ship. If you're able to recontest like what we just saw from the other side of TSM with the portal play like that, it could be so dicey and getting through a very tight choke.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's worth mentioning, right? Like we talk about switching to Strange, having that portal committed when you know that you lost a point relatively early. It's really good to have Strange available and not being run by a team, because you switch to it, whoever goes down first, and then you take the portal right exactly where that card is before it even moves an inch into point 3. And we're seeing teams do that a lot at this level of play. And that's, again, another time it's given them value and they just retook positioning.
And it looks like we're soon going to be ready to get back into this match. Just figuring a few things out. What do you want to see as we're starting to get really close to the end of this map? Do you feel like any team has to really, really like switch things up?
Maybe just diving right into the game.
Yeah, take it away, Vicky.
Yeah, we get to see everything go down the way that we need it, because Gale is still alive. We were taking a look at the old economy originally and see if Regis could come back with the final judgment. With overtime ticking away, though, Lunax are still on the attack, but time is of the essence. It's ticking away, and it's going to be a lot of sustain here from Gale getting the reset as he beats up another player from Lunax.
Cal able to find one BTS as well on the tones. This could be the ticking clock here, folks, for the side of Lunax on attack. TSM, OT ticking down. Tico not able to get to the point, and that'll do it. It looks like TSM have figured out their comp, bounce back, and take the W on the Lunax Gaming.
Wow, Lunax is depressed.
A bit of a little stagger fest over there at the very end, with TSM, though, changing up their composition completely into what we wanted to see, everybody.
Don't worry, guys.
They had to recollect themselves, they re-engage off that portal, and they had the old economy diff in terms of holding back Lunax. Great showing from TSM, as this is the original TSM that we came to know and love, Shib.
Yeah, I just love to see them being able to find a comp that works well in this meta, and they looked great. I mean, everybody across the board, 18 finals there from BTS, 11 with Guru, 9 with Gale. I mean, everybody getting involved, 7, even Gilbert, the backline, Cal finding 9, Pizza even on the Loki, getting MVP, looking clean across the board, 44K healing, and also 6 finals. Everybody had influence in that game.
Getting word that was a quick little pause there at the very end, maybe something going on the other side. Hopefully figuring that out, though, with Lunax seeing Rita still shining on this team. This has been a very standout player to me, Shib. And you look on the other side, the Golk, more Hulk on our screen, the Payne brothers, and the triple Vanguard lineup. I can't make this up. This has just been such an enjoyable day to watch for the Americas region.
Absolutely, I'm with you 100%. What a bunch of matches so far.
On this side,
everybody
is
taking this thing
there
to Matt Elsa. Melio making the change, though. And then you have Ken on Fox now. Vest making the switch over to Magneto. I like these changes just for the fact that there's a lot of poke coming out from Set and try to take the flyer out of the sky. Great work.
Right now, just, you know, I gotta reset. They take out another team fight. Honestly, what I'm seeing right now from FlyQuest is this is very scattered. It looks almost too messy. And we see Vez. He heard her please. He's gone over to the Magneto. Hopefully he doesn't like back away and make a quick swap up, but he's over on the Magneto. This is gonna help out Ken a lot with these bubbles.
Thanks, Sod.
Yeah, it will help the Jeff also. You can eat Iron Man Ultimate if you're able to get there in time. Ryan Mason gonna be slightly ahead though. If they're tracking ults, you know, knowing that switch came through, you might try to commit this quick and try to make something happen instead of saving it for something like Jeff, because you know it's just gonna be eaten by Magneto if you wait too long. Playing in the back line, I like Ken's angle here. This is that aggressive top right. we were talking about. Jolly making the switch as well to Angie, but gets tackled right out of the sky. Is there enough damage to burn through? Doesn't look like there is. Here's a big Glartrox opportunity from Tuzi. Not sure it landed. Not able to get anyone in that just yet. Even the pressure on, though, able to find Ryan Mazing out of the sky. Tuzi with the first pick of this fight.
Oh, that's big, though. At least being able to find Ryan Mazing when he had that ultimate online could have really put a stop to his invisible boundary as Miro finds Zelos next. FlyQuest waking up a little bit. They get the trade up from each side. Tuzi waking up here, too, but you miss out on the Meteor M vesting. All right, it's been a little bit here, but with that meatball, unfortunately, not landing on its mark onto Flamme, Sentinels get to stay alive even longer, forcing FlyQuest to back away.
Yeah, Flamme doing a good job understanding that he was just in peril there and had to hold that ultimate to use it as a way to just shield the Meteor M if it was coming in. That overhealth is just too much to burst through with the Meteor M, so typically you have your team burn it. But if you wait till the last second to pop your ultimate, you'll have that shield available to keep yourself healthy. Everybody now fighting on point in this front line corner. Not a lot of fights available left in this matchup. A huge ult by Jolly there. The combined... Oh, there's 3 ults committed. Do they get anything with the Ken?
Sure,
not able to get into the land. Melio
so
able to find one onto Crimzo. What a start there from Jolly with a huge Heaven Descent. Will they get enough ticks to push this through to point 2?
Friendly window access for a pulse twice got denied and
on their
random pause
exit
and
strat, though, going in through the garage. That would have been crazy off-map KOs, but it's okay. FlyQuest still contesting here. They're trying to get this payload moving, but Sentinels are not giving it up just yet. Crimzo is about to portal right back in together, and Melio already finds Ryan Mazing. That's 3 out for Sentinels with Crimzo forcing out that portal already.
Now, I really like these changes from Fly. They understood, they downloaded. You know, sometimes we talk about the panic switching, but they really just try to find a way through it. And I'm telling you, that was a great attack, all on the back of a huge Heaven Descent there. A little bit of overcommitment on the ultimate sake using the Jeff. I'm not sure if that was a communication issue or they just thought they needed it. But when you're down to a few seconds like that, sometimes the communication's not even there. And you just try to make something happen in your own hands. But shout out to Fly to push through. Onto the streets phase we go. Will Sentinels be able to bounce back?
I know, they just have to try to regroup here because Yusha's about to have that Apex Predator. Right, Mazing once again was unable to really take advantage of him having his ultimate ready to go. Mirror does have that invisible boundary, but keep your eyes on Zelos because that's going to be the player that Right Mazing wants to get that mark on.
Crimzo on the cap now. This guy's cap is storied, been banned out a ton in the past. Just such an annoyance for the back line and always staying healthy, moving around everything. Oh, that is a huge Glartrox, a 3-piece. Will they be able to clean up what they do? Mirror gonna find 2 of those in Flamme, making the switch as well. This time out of Luna, using that clap cooldown with a new buff that enables them to get the clap back quicker. Crimzo onto Zelos, and that will be a sweep there. Well done by Sentinels, who are also changing up their comp.
I also feel like it's so difficult when you're getting held in this position, especially with the way that Sentinels is running this composition.
You guys
breaking
lost
through
today?
this choke can be hard. They got to split some more of that attention, which is what Jolly's positioning is trying to do, and trying to harass the backline and stop Ryan Mazing, who's ready to go. Dongman does have that Meteor M as well as Flamme with that sustainability.
Yeah, ultimate advantage going to be slightly in favor of Sentinels here. They will have Flamme's dance floor. Dongmin with another neutral pick. Doing a lot of that in these matches here. Looking really strong on that hero. Typically a strange player, at least last season. He's definitely been working on that. Magneto, right, amazing with a nice pick on Ken. Crimzo finds one in the back onto Zelos, making a 2-piece onto Vest as Yusher takes out Jolly. The reset comes in here for Fly. 45 seconds now for them. Only going to be a fight and a potential portal play if they have it available.
Look at Crimzo right now. Crimzo's back. The cap is in order. And Dogman has that bubble ready just in case they need it. Looking back at FlyQuest, they got to try to take a different rotation, and they try to go through the garage instead. They don't want to try to contest up on the high ground. And look at Crimzo. He's waiting to dive in. There's a beast here coming out of the jungle before jumping on top of the strat line, and he's got the freedom charge while he's at it.
Oh, and he forced out Tuzi's Glartrox. Oh, he used it like a champion. That was so clean. And now they're going to re-engage. All charge flying through. Everybody stay in the freedom charge. Walking forward. The itch Jeff's getting committed. Will that find value? It's out somewhere, but it is going to be a movement ultimate, at least at the time being. They're going to use it as more of an answer just to get some HP. Tuzi with a nice pick there onto Yusher. Clapping right back as Dongman finds Zelos. The trades are there. Crimzo with another pick onto Tuzi is so clean on this hero. Once again, they cannot stop him. Up in the sky goes Vest downtown, able to find one on a Mirror. What a play there.
He's trying to get away. The cap is too much pressure. Dancing around the portal, though, is going to be FlyQuest desperately trying to force out with this overtime. Time is of the essence. They find Dogman isolated, and he does have that Meteor M here still. Vez coming out together with Zelos and the actual boundary that they're going to need for that sustainability. But Ryan Mazing's been holding on to that Iron Man ultimate just for that as an answer.
I just want to shout out Vess's dunk there on an invis who thought they were safe. Clearly seeing that early on in the ult and only going there as the last resort. That's big brain play. Up in the sky, Iron Man tries, but does not succeed. But Psych Online as they clean up 4, and that could be it. 5 go down. Everybody falls. Amazing with the laser, just gaining time after time because that new buff keeps him in that form indefinitely if you can provide that much value.
And that's another thing too, right? You're kind of forced to ban out the Ultron if you expect the Stark protocol to get the
making that apply pressure to definite who
I mean, it's just cooked when you're losing to Iron Man, bro. Like, I don't know.
You gotta use your ult more as a, a strategist healing ultimate. We saw that a few times just to stay healthy and keep the team up during cap ult. And if you're using it for that reason, honestly, why not use a different strategist at that point?
Thanks,
that doesn't work efficiently. Amazing with some good positioning here. Just peppering on top of Crimso's dive. Why do you need commitment with the dive if you can shoot from downtown? What a play here off the rip.
No one's looking at him. Look at the Iron Man up in the skies, but I guess if you don't have enough teammates to do so, it's going to be harder. 2C really needs to mark down Iron Man, and it is Amazing just having the time as Melio just tries to get up with that ultimate online, and Vez is the next one to fall. Sentinels are looking to speed run as they're already on top of the point and moving all around with the payload.
Yeah, this looks like the Sentinels we've known. They just look locked in right now. I knew that first day was going to be difficult on the mental. It was all about could they bounce back, and right now they look like they have definitely bounced back, staying dominant across the board, taking domination 100-0 twice, and now walking through that first point, and now 5 minutes to get through street phase. Point 2, only halfway. Fly, though. Let's see them bounce back. I would love to see this be a close match here, and I know they've got the talent to lock back in. Let's see what they can do.
Horrible, bro.
Want to see more impactful Apex Predator picks here from 2C2. Being able to get set up on the high ground, gets the mark on the invisible before jumping back away. Mirror close to that invisible boundary. Flamay 2 with the dance up, but Crimson already pops up with that armor as Amazing, uncontested, finds Vez. Jolly the next to go down, and with nobody to contest, Melio's a little too late. Sentinels have walked the park in this second series of the day and take match.
Bad second map from your team. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
bro.
That was some clean play by Sen there, and we wanted them to run some different stuff and look good.
Here's a Nightmare play next.
Doing it, and they did just that. Pulling out the Iron Man, the Ultron. Obviously, I think we're going to see more Ultron. Not
really expect that. I low-key, I have my Jelly Beans bet on Lunex. Just recency bias.
So
based
boring,
on what I saw.
bro.
Like, they both come off of a loss, but one loss just looked better, looked more competitive. TSM kind of got rolled, and quite frankly, after map 1, I thought that's just going to kind of happen again today. So it was really, really great to see TSM really turning things around, really making those adaptations mid-series in order to come out on top.
Yeah, maybe all it took for them was to get their backs up against the wall, for them to be like, we have nothing to lose. We've heard that a lot today about teams that actually started showing up. It's like, let's just change some things up. Let's get the mentality that this game is ours, and let's just send it. And they sent it. They looked hyper aggro. They had the Payne brothers on the front line on point 24/7. Crew making the switch to Angela, just constantly finding picks. We even saw, I think, a 3 or 4 piece on point 3 of their attack. It just with neutral Angela with the Gambit team. I mean, Angela goes Mach 4 billion when she's flying with Gambit, but it was just really clean to see. The whole team was locked in for sure.
It was so enjoyable. It's the fact that we're getting so many different compositions too, guys. Like literally throughout all of the games that we've had thus far, like we've been seeing Cap, we've been seeing Thing, we've been seeing Hulk. It's been so crazy to see the diversity of the different compositions that we're still witnessing across all of our teams.
I love how confusing this must be for anyone from another region or just anyone who's trying to catch up. Like, just, I'm gonna check out the highest level of competition to get a good idea of what I should be playing, and then they're just looking at like all these different comps. It's like, well, cool, I learned nothing. Like, this was super unhelpful.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are working so far. I'd like to see the Brawl stack like that find some success into the dive meta, because it shows you that the triangle still works well, right? You still have some solutions to some of this stuff that seems overwhelming into the backline, but no matter what, the strategists are definitely going to be in peril a lot.
All right, I do believe we do finally have our interview ready, so let's bring in Guru from our winning team.
Gang rank Star-Lord pay DD
word
right
there
now.
We go.
Yeah,
thank you so much for joining us.
Let's go.
Wait for that apology. I love it.
Who are you talking to?
Whatever's plaguing you, it's okay. You're fine
as.
as.
But that's
Thanks,
my
bro.
boy, Guru. Yo, real thing I want to say, Guru. Shout out to you, real quick, bro. What I need to ask this question, like, you guys obviously starting off a little more pokey, you're more traditional stuff.
Yes,
You guys
don't
going
force
to
yourself
this
to
Pain
streaming
Brothers
if you want to
triple
take some time
ban
for your
brawl
mental
stuff.
Well, see,
Awesome to see. Was this something you guys decided?
you guys
in the
realize,
moment, or was this
what do you
something
think I'm
you've
going to be
been
doing if
working
I'm not streaming right now?
It all comes back to the goal. We
Like,
always just go back to the
I'm
goal.
still just going to be
Scale on
sitting
both
here
and
fucking
stream it.
upset and just have cancer. Like,
Gold. I love it, dude. It's great.
That was okay. So I just have to say, Guru, cherry on top. I'm so.
Would you
happy.
say
We
you're a
Sim and I were
derpy
talking about
chud?
it before we got into the
No, I
segment. We're like,
wouldn't.
we know what these players are comfortable playing. Like, we know how they pop off. Just go what you're comfortable with, right?
Jim?
You put the Golk out. You
I
guys
guess,
with the
but,
Tims
like,
with the Pain Brothers,
what's
and
the
you
point,
guys just
bro?
let loose. Now we have to ask you. I don't believe you play tomorrow. I think you have a bit of a break before like next weekend games. You have some information now. You guys could review over. You have some information out too that you guys can review over from yesterday's games into today. You guys have now a lot to work with going into next weekend without having to reveal too much.
Get your
What is,
fucking
like,
shit
some things
together,
that you feel like you just need
like,
to
fall
straighten
7
out to
times and
get
stand
that
up 8.
momentum, to get that
Bro,
ball
like,
rolling
I'm
for
allowed
these last two games.
like, be upset
honestly, you might just start protecting
and
goals
complain.
first. I mean,
I wouldn't, like, if I wasn't upset, I wouldn't care. Like,
we just kind of.
that doesn't mean I'm giving up. I'm just upset. Because we fucking trolled and died to. We just, like, bro, like.
You just send it. You guys look so much more
Oh my
confident.
god,
Dude,
it's just
you guys are locked in.
egregious
They're
diamond
crazy
level
plays by all of you
individual
individually.
mistakes is
All
why
of
we
you ended with
lost,
some
bro.
crazy
Like,
stats,
that's the
ton
thing
of
that
finals,
pisses me
ton of
off.
damage.
It's
You know,
not like they did
minimizing
some
the
crazy
time to
strategy.
no matter what
It's
the
not like
situation,
we
you
weren't
found a solution.
prepared.
My
We just
curiosity was like, what was the
fucking
mental
shit
shift? You
our
guys just, like,
pants, bro. Like,
was it
that's
like a
what
complete
pisses me
shift in
off,
mental? Was
man.
people just more hyped up when things started working your way? How did it look?
Like, fuck, bro.
Yeah, I think a lot of us just have jitters.
Like, we
first
rolled
half,
them in
it's
the draft.
So
Yeah.
annoying.
We
It
rolled them in our
sucks. It, like, in
comps. Like,
best
we
of
had
three,
winning comps,
it
winning
all
draft
happens so
every
fast,
single
right?
game.
You
We
don't have,
just
like, time to,
fucking
like,
trolled.
ease
Just
into
push
it.
your
Okay,
buttons,
we
guys,
make
and
a
we'll
comeback,
win.
You know, something like that.
Like,
But
fuck.
it's all like, it's so quick, you know. Best of threes. I'm not a big fan, but I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, you'll have to, because that's the format. We do have 2 weeks of play, though, Guru. Looking at this first week of play in your first 2 matches, obviously 1 dub, 1 loss against SSG yesterday. What are your personal big takeaways that you're heading into week 2 with?
Big takeaways. I don't know. We just we were caught off guard by the bans yesterday, and then we kind of people are actually letting us play Gambit, and now we're kind of figuring that out too. Because we're used to just like these Elsa bans or Gambit bans first, so we're just playing with what we got and making it work. We just need to scrim different comps rather than just one tricking the same comp.
Well, as
Yeah, you
Ricky
guys
said, we
definitely
do
have
have
the
an
talent.
opportunity to do that now, right? We have a little bit of a break, but Guru, thank you so much. We don't want to hold you off any longer. It's been great chatting with you, and we hope to see you again next week.
Congrats, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for
That
having
was
me.
awesome to watch, man.
Congrats.
Bye.
We'll see you, man.
Guru from TSM.
Just
Listening to the
protect
broadcast
Golk.
ship. You gotta be careful with what you're saying on the
Okay, I'm
broadcast,
confident.
Mr. Ship.
Why do
I
you
will
say
show
that?
up
Why do
in
you
this
say
in this
that? Now
tournament
they're gonna
and
know.
play well
The
versus
Golk is
every
too
team in the
strong.
tournament.
No
Like,
way.
I'm not
He
worried
is.
about
Okay,
myself,
okay,
bro.
okay, okay.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Golk.
I know I'm a good
Right,
player.
awesome.
I know what my
Careful.
strengths are.
That was good.
I know the mistakes that I made.
No,
I'm
that's
just
what-
fucking
That's my
upset
point.
because
Honestly,
we.
it's a good call-out. I mean,
I
like,
hate
again, they
losing
look
to
confident.
our.
I
Like,
wanted
I
to see
hate
that
it
from him. I'm
when
stoked we saw that
my
from him.
team.
I think he knows that.
Our
I mean,
team
that
loses
was
to
honestly,
ourselves.
It
Like,
was just really
that
clean
is
play.
the
They
most
looked dominant.
tilting
Everybody had
cancer shit
influence.
ever.
There was like no weak points.
It's
across
not
the
just
board.
they're
They found a
better,
comp that
it's
worked
we
for 'em. They did
fucking
stuff that I think
troll.
is better right now, and that's huge for their team. And they needed that confidence, and I have no doubt they're going to keep going up.
Yeah, I mean, you said at the beginning of the series, right, that you're disappointed, not angry, disappointed, which is way worse. But that also means
Thanks,
you
Stuart.
care. You're disappointed because you care,
Yep.
because you know what these individual players are bringing to the table. You know what the team can do, and they showed that today, and it did result in a victory for them. So
up, Kanye?
their first victory on the board. Hopefully, many more to come as we continue in our round robin here in the group
Was it a
stage.
synergy?
We're
No,
headed into
no,
a
no.
very
It wasn't a
quick
synergy
break, and
thing.
then
It was.
afterwards we're back with our
We would
fourth
be
match
winning
of
a
the day,
fight,
Cafe
or
Rebels
we would
going
lose
up
a fight
against Swamp
because
Games.
someone would just randomly turn into a diamond level player and not press a button, and we would just die with a cooldown. Like a major cooldown, or an ult would be late, or we would randomly split or something, or someone would just like run in 1v6 and die. Like, just garbage, bro. And when that happens 50 times in a map, it's just unwinnable. Like, especially that 3rd point attack, bro. Like, oh my god. Like, we have the most max win comp in the game versus Mantis Triple Gambit there, bro. Like, well, people are just fucking retarded, New York Lover. Like, that's just like the bottom line. Like, the game is deeper than, oh my god, what? He didn't Spider-Man mirror in a $3 million tournament? What a coward! What a pussy! What? It's like, bro, like my team practices different shit. Like, why would I ever Spider-Man mirror a team that practices Spider-Man? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. It's brain dead. That's just not what my comp is built around or play for. It's not our win con, bro. Yeah, Sniper, bro, like, pretty sure the codes are public, bro. Like, you can go back and see. Just look at the fights of what we're losing. Look how we're losing, and you'll be like, oh. Like, it doesn't take a full CIA investigation to figure out why we fucking lost. Like, the codes are public. Just go look. Like, most tilting shit ever, bro. Of course, Jesse. We don't have a jersey. We're not a partner team. Space was being so rude. I mean, whatever, bro. No, I'm not playing on an alt account and fucking piss low, bro. I'm not gonna tell my weaknesses on stream, bro. How was Monster feeling? I don't know, bro. That's fire, Caleb. Thanks, Scepter. What happened to FlyQuest? They look miserable? I don't fucking know, man. Because we lost, bro. No, I know it's not over, guys. I'm gonna come in tomorrow and I'm gonna perform. I'm confident I'll do well tomorrow.
Cafe Rose delivered.
I'm just
yesterday.
frustrated.
It was the biggest upset of the day. They came out swinging.
I hate losing to bullshit, man.
And I think after that performance, Swamp Gaming definitely.
And that's just such a
had to
loser
go and
mentality,
do
you
some
goofy.
homework.
Oh, it's just preseason. Let's just not care.
I agree.
Like,
Like,
fuck it.
Shiv, I mean,
So
I
it's
was
just
able
like
to
my
talk
first
to the
official in
Swamp
9 months. I've
Gaming,
been
and I don't
grinding
think
for
they're
this
expecting
opportunity
the
for
Cafe Rose
306
team to do well
days.
at Quest.
I mean, it's
But
just
also the fact
preseason
that
though.
some
Why
of
would
the
I
talk
even
is
care?
very
It's like
valid.
whatever.
Although this is also a team though that is so confident that they have been
Like,
winning
take your
all the
apathy
scrim games.
somewhere
Can
else,
you
bro.
cash that in? They proved it yesterday. Now it's against a team that I'm not too sure if they had a lot of scrim practice against.
Yeah, I love the confidence from Melophobia. I love the I'm the best, Elsa in the game. That kind of stuff hypes me up. Gets fans behind you. They looked really good. I mean, there's nothing else you could say about it. The whole team looked confident, looked strong, played well. So we'll have to see what it looks like again going into Cafe Rose. Cafe Rose, I think we all kind of put maybe lower than they should have been. We saw the fact that they're losing 2 players, and I think instinctually you're like, all right, they're probably going to be in trouble. It's a few days before Ignite starts, and then they looked the way they did yesterday. I mean, again, shout out Cafe Rose. It is still up in
much in thanks to those 2 players, right? Like I think a lot of their dominance was because of those 2 new pieces. Looking at Swamp Gaming, also new pieces in the mix here. Obviously, an established core with a very new backline for them. Forkydog and Valentina are joining, and man, was that backline powerful. And that's also something that Melo talked about in the interview yesterday. Even if they could have their former strategists,
Thanks, Shrek.
they don't want to play with anyone but Valentina and Forkydog. And like,
you're up 2-0. What's the story?
No, like legit, bro.
In your backline.
Can we talk about how great the appreciation too for an insanely strong backline? Like you can't really worry about all these
We played against
rolling through your
yeah, we
backline
lost.
when your backline is holding down strong.
Yeah, I want to see more White Fox play. I said yesterday, I think Valentina was the GOAT Fox that we saw, and I'm looking forward to seeing her do it again. I mean, I don't know. I was gonna say maybe they banned it out. That seems like a little crazy, at least until maybe the next patch rolls in. But definitely looking forward to seeing that because Cafe Rose got a lot of dive, and Fox does a great job battling back some of that dive.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday, a lot of the bans went into that backline. They did try to ban out Forkydog and Valentina, but both of these players have such a deep hero pool that really didn't work out in their favor.
Yeah, no, not at all. And then you take a look at like the way that they were trying to make that adaptation, and then now having to look at Swamp Gaming. And while they make that quick adaptation, at least in the previous games that they were able to really roll out, it's going to be a lot harder of a team to deal with compared to that first opponent in that first series that we saw. I'm excited to see what Cafe Rose has up their sleeve. Swamp Gaming seems pretty confident rolling through the rest of their group. I mean, they even said that they feel like they are the best team, if anything. And they were looking at all the other predictions saying, if you don't have us in number 1, number 2, we're looking at you guys because we're coming for your predictions to toss them in the bin.
Never
now,
knew you had Champion Blade.
They have to deal with
yeah, I love
Rose,
Blade, bro. It's like my favorite hero.
They weren't expecting coming out of left field.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Cafe Rose hold .1 on Araco against Fly. That is, insane. That's like really tough to do. I mean, you can do it with triple comps, and they look just dominant the whole time, honestly. The team felt like they had played together forever again, even through some of those subs. They found some value with Adam yesterday, which not a lot of teams have been doing. A huge res that comes back from a 99 deficit on domination. The team that does not give up. It might be enough for them to come back and take home against Swamp Gaming, a team that looks incredibly strong.
Yeah, Pro Builder on that Adam Warlock. But then also Sanji on that Namor did so much for that team. Just overall, they looked really, really well rehearsed, very cohesive. I wonder what the focus will be going up against that. Is there anything you feel like we can ban out to really like throw them for a loop?
I would say Daredevil, because Daze was a problem, right? And they let them have Daredevil, and we heard it in the interview actually, where Melo was like, "We got the best Daredevil in the world," even though everyone claimed that they're the best of everything for all the duelists.
Feel like Kobe right now?
Yeah.
No,
we got number
not.
1 everything. We got number 1 Phoenix, number 1 Phoenix on the same series that we have to deal with. Now this time around, Daze being such a good Daredevil, I think this is something that Cafe Rose should have to note before going into the series. Sorry.
Absolutely. Yeah, honestly, if you're looking at yesterday and how the bans worked out for Swamp Gaming, they got away with having Scatter Genji on
listen
Vanguard
to Namor's
Deadpool,
or
didn't
haters,
get
your Namor's
banned
fine.
out,
I know my
Daze
Namor was
on that
fine, but that's what I'm
Daredevil.
saying.
So they got a lot
I
of
know
things
the
to play
mistakes that I
with
made in that official, and I played
maybe you
Namor
should let
fine.
them
I played
through
it
the
fine.
draft here, Shiv.
My job in rolling
Yeah,
that comp is to not carry the game.
Again, another one of those dominations. We've seen a lot of Krakoa today.
The way that we drafted was so that Vision could carry the game. I did my fucking job on Namor.
Starting up here in just a moment, folks. Looking forward to seeing what they come out the spawn door.
Could I have hit more shots? Yes. Could I have had better whales? Yes.
I'm wondering if something weird.
Could my positioning been better? yes, but it's like
they do. I mean,
I
it's
didn't
worked so
play
far.
bad enough for us to lose the
But every
game.
time you ask that
I could have played
question,
better
you
and carried,
somehow spoke it into
absolutely.
existence.
But I am
It's
not
like,
the
"Okay,
reason
here,
that we
guys,
lost.
Let's do it. Let's run it back once
Like,
again
individually.
in our 4th match of the day.
I played with the
Alright,
tempo of our
let's
team.
go. Zintus together, man.
I
We
could
got
have
match
contributed
number
more.
4, although we've been
But it's
having,
like,
the back-to-back game number 3 situation.
When the draft
really
isn't
play
centered, like
out
first
to
game,
open
the
up
draft was
day,
centered
and
around
now
me.
through our
Like I had
third
to carry
match.
the game, and I
We still
did.
got 2
I
more
fucking
games
did.
to
I put
go,
in
and
work
going
that first
into the
game. Everyone
big
knows
advance
it.
phase is where it all
The second
starts
game, the
between
draft was
Swamp
centered
Gaming
around
versus
Vision.
Cafe Rose. Elsa's already off the table though, and still leads Cafe Rose. to
And it's
say
just cancer when people were
100%,
telling me like,
but they
oh,
could
why did you
maybe
wail
be
the Hulk? He's
expecting
CC immune.
that
Fucking damage, so he can't jump,
Yeah,
bro.
Elsa's off the table, a little bit targeted. I mean, I'd say Melophobia, but honestly, she's just a priority right now. Even, and I'm curious if it's going to be the same after the patch comes in next week, where she loses a little bit of HP.
It's
Removal
really not
there
that
of the
deep,
Mantis
just move
targets
on.
a lot of these compositions and even makes it more difficult for things like Venom, who enables a one-shot comp with that team up, or not team up, but just the utilization of the damage boost with the ultimate. Gambit getting locked in, and the Prio instead on Vanpool. 2 very different strategies. There's no real answer on which one is better.
And we're talking about what we've seen too, like just the fact that we've even had 2 Iron Mans. Like, what is going on? Although that second Iron Man, we didn't see it last very long. The Loki band coming out right afterwards because they don't want to deal with the double Raging Royal Flush, which is what we saw on display just in our last series.
Thanks,
and since
Shonap.
you see the Gambit, it kind of forces out that double band chip. You were
What's up,
mentioning
Shotzi?
how good of a hero Rogue becomes, moving up an entire tier when it comes to dealing with that
Thanks,
Gambit
Troy.
power-up.
Yeah, they're essentially just removing all the things that make Gambit even more valuable, right? Removing the wife, removing the Loki. It's just 2 things that are targeted just through the idea of, all right, if we're going to let Gambit through, we don't want to make it too painful for us, because last matchup we saw the Loki get through and there was just constant Raging Royal flushes with the triple Vanguard. It was just too much pressure to handle, and I think it netted them the victory. So I don't know that we'll see too much of that again. The lock in here coming to Loki, but this time on the side of Cafe Rose.
For seeing if that's what they're going to be lingering on.
I didn't mean
I want
it.
to see some more Hulk,
I'm
man.
not
I don't know. No,
self-loathing,
guys,
bro.
Us excited here. We just saw the Golk. Are we going to see a different iteration?
Like, I'm not
as
mad
the
at myself.
Loki
I'm not
Protect
hating
does end up
myself, bro.
coming through?
And we're going to see the removal
Thanks,
here.
Juno.
of
I appreciate that, bro.
See, this is what I've been saying. I think it's the first time we've seen it. I'm like, why are we not banning Venom more? There's
Really
just so
appreciate it.
much enabling of dive when Venom's on
Yeah,
the field.
I'm
He
not
throws out so many
self-loathing,
cooldowns
bro.
for so little. He just can dive in.
I'm allowed
up
to
a
be
wall. You
upset
don't
that I
use your
lost an
grapple
official. Like,
in, folks. You should climb up a wall, dive in with F, and then a lot of the time you're gonna
It's just
hear
annoying when
climbing
people
the wall,
don't know
you're gonna
why.
see Loki crystals go off. You're going to see
What's up,
you know,
Jitters?
the dagger storm from Cloak, that kind of stuff. Pulling that out by just diving at the back line is so valuable, and it enables then your Daredevil to go in and absolutely just smoke the back line. That is why he is so strong right now in the current meta. And instead, we might be seeing Cap from Craze, who looked great on him yesterday.
And the fact that we didn't see the ban onto the Gambit on the other side means that they didn't even have to waste a protect right on that Gambit, so they could just protect the Loki for free and get away with having the double Raging Royal Flush. Strap in, everybody, work here. Swamp Gaming are the ones that have to deal with that Loki ban instead from their side, so they won't have the double. Instead, it will be Porky Dog on that Luna.
Right now, Mello is hovering the spider. Peter Parker stand up. There's a chance to get some play. It's not a bad map for Spider-Man at all. There's some off-map potential here. A lot of long LOS for you to make big plays and just to get some momentum for off-map. Playing off
Who
the
cares
back of
what they
some cap
think?
dive too. There could be
I
a
mean,
lot of
yeah,
strategy
but it's just
here.
annoying
That's
to read,
exactly
bro.
what
It's
they're
like
gonna
annoying
run
on
at.
top
There's a
of me
chance
already
that
being
they're
annoyed.
That's exactly what they're going to run as we see the change up now across the board.
All right, everybody, let's get this started here. Sanji, I was wondering, all right, are we actually going to see this roll out? It's going to be
Luna,
making the
yeah.
portal play into the Moon Knight play, too, because they could be expecting that from the other side. See if how they
You
can
guys are
get into
playing
position
Moon
even faster,
Knight
but it is gonna be
into
a portal play
fucking
for Cafe Rose.
Swamp? Do you want to win?
Dive in right now. Pro Builder portal on the high side, lifted up.
We play
Trying to
tomorrow,
make
that's
some
a
early
shame.
pressure onto point. Instead, they're just going to elect to drop the point. Usually, you'll see that lower down, use it as a
Yeah,
wall. but
Spider
instead they just
legit,
part of the aggro. Maybe saw an opportunity to get the point quick and just kind of taking on the space. So
No,
we'll
no,
see
it's
now.
just a, okay.
Cafe Rose still holding this pressure, but already Swamp Gaming takes it right back. Not sure the portal was fully worked, but again, it is a 3-minute cooldown. Should have it no problem by the end. Melophobia on the off angle here, applying damage onto no binds. Looking at the strategy, trying to get crystals out, but great patience there to not overcommit abilities.
Actually try to hide away instead. Nice little freeze onto Sanji, too. Forky Dog is such an insane Luna, while Valentina... It's okay, you can clip the foxtails, it's fine. Valentina comes in many forms.
Play again
and it's gonna
tomorrow,
be in the
bro.
form of this Gambit getting that perfect 2. Did lose out on Sanji here because of that. Lyric gets frozen again. Swamp Gaming with an amazing back away, trying to make sure that that's not going to be a problem from that tank group.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that pick there from Valentini. Still no one on point, but yes, Pix already has ult available.
Third place isn't so bad.
Lyric able to find one on a scatter, and that should give point. It does. Cafe Rose with an early take. Now it's all about the stall.
Oh, managed to get away. Forky Dog's alive. Gonna be like to themselves. The iframe suit from Lyric and the safety from the bubble as they bring Lyric back up to health. Cafe Rose take domination over the point first.
Smooth Criminal, that was clean right there. Getting down to like 20 HP, still popping that bubble, able to drop back. Great focus by the strat line to walk up and catch him in that moment. I'm sure there was comms for days.
Time to play tomorrow?
As I've been in that position before, as we see, respect
like
available.
7:45
another
Eastern.
Raging Royal flush opportunity, waiting until they extend just a little bit too much, but there will be a lot of answers. Valentina with
Cafe Rose get this
now. The answer comes back a little bit longer on the side of respect now. Playing a little safer, gonna drop out. Reset near the health pack. Good idea. Patty kicking back and forth. The chase comes through. Good movement here. Insane by respect. Drawing out the fire and still staying healthy as Scatters able to find the first one onto Zanji. And no bind sword salt, but it doesn't matter as Melophobia gets that pick while the Heartbreaker's going off.
That was a very expensive fight, though. Pro Builder could come right back around with the Eye of Agamotto.
Exactly.
This stall is even better for Cafe Rose. They have their feet planted on the ground, nearing 60%.
Why so sad after one game? Because I lost. Like, it's that simple. I lost. What do you mean over one game? It doesn't matter if it's one game. Who likes losing?
Picks in these fights right now. Point is going to switch finally 70% here.
When you put hundreds of hours into something of preparation and then you fail, like, what do you mean it's not a big deal? Like, what?
You can use this ult for plenty of different uses. You can be a charge in, an initiation, could be an answer to some of these more.
Like, if you guys never cared about anything in your life, like, I don't understand how this is hard to understand.
Keep them healthy and try
What's up,
to
Zach?
their ults faster, as it does obviously give ult charge as well. Here comes the commitment now from Zanji and Pulsar with Pixel, excuse me, with the combination.
Off the Raging Royal Flush, though, they move up. Kraz is trying to clear the path with the Freedom Charge, but with Shanchi having the Raging Royal Flush plus the Galactic Legend, where are you? They try to dive in, and there's only so many places you can go before it's another reset and a takeover from Cafe Rose.
Cafe Rose looking really good once again, coming right back, using those ults effectively. The combination there of the Raging Royal Flush with the Galactic Legend is a storied ultimate, very similar to the Final Judgment from Punisher. Just very difficult to escape. It does so much damage, and now even more so in the recent patches, 35 every 0.5 seconds. All the damage you've done, again, 20% of that will happen, or actually, excuse me, 35% of that will happen once more. Now Scatter walking forward, Crazeman able to find Pix off the rim early on for Swamp, who wants to retake, but 99% will be the number here for Cafe Rose. Swamp Gaming's got to keep that in mind for all the rest of these fights. What a shot there by Scatter right to the dome of Crow. That's going to be another early pick, make it another as Melophobia finds, and the retake will happen as another pick and a third from Melophobia.
And that was all these things just because we saw that God of Mischief come out online. Unfortunately, Pixel wasn't
The phrase just a game is such a weak mindset. You're okay with what happened, losing imperfections of a craft when you start getting angry after losing. You lost twice. No, legit.
They know that they have the Raging Royal Flush themselves. So I'm Gaming wondering, was it really worth it for that Mantis ban instead? Because they knew that they still have that Gambit online from the other side.
It's okay to be mad. Exactly.
Scatter's finding value in the neutral, like,
I'm not giving up. I'm not saying it's over. We're not disqualified. Like, none of that, bro. Like,
does have ult advantage.
I'm just mad. Like,
from the observers, and here goes some more commitment off the rip. The Banhammer goes out to scatter Genji, and they still drop backwards. Totally fine at the moment. Crazemang.
It's just preseason, so it's not a big deal as long as we're top 4 or 6. Yeah, I mean, I'm just content with being shit. You're right. It's fine. It's just preseason.
Well done by both teams to not overcommit, but even better.
At least you're the 4th best in the easy bracket, like.
Excuse me, which is technically the second up, but it does come back quick. So make sure
shoot for the 4th best in the easiest bracket. You got it.
Portal play too from Cafe Rose,
like,
because that's what Swamp Gaming wanted to do. Mellow played that so well, cutting out their only exit strat as they actually opt to go through the portal from the right side of the map instead. Gets a God of Mischief. They want to open things up with the Raging Royal Flush. Look at Pro Builder though. He's got the Eye of Agamotto, and he's gonna go zooming into the sky. It's gonna be the Galactic Legend from Amadian first to answer back. He has to split his attention and not waste any time because the overtime's taken away, and with Mellow finding respect.
Like, it's fine. I'll come back tomorrow.
Cafe Rose.
Do my thing. Try my best. But like, stop telling me to be content with being fucking terrible, bro.
Talk about the double Raging Royal Flush not being a problem.
Yeah, Nightmare Vision's the same that was on FlyQuest,
the
correct.
re-engage and the timing on the stall too from Mellow and using that dance of the Cutterflies was chef's kiss here, Shib.
Yeah, clean play, and Cafe Rose did hold on. And as they switch Pro Builder off that Strange, obviously, just to make sure they're playing another targeted hero here, so they do have that portal whenever they should need it. Forky Dog holding on to the dance floor. Zanji, though, could pull that out at any time with the Galactic Legend. We're going to see what they elect to do in a moment. Crazeman going to be very close to ultimate as well, and that's the advantage of having that cap. Just ensuring your team gets those ults even faster, and especially when Gambit is on the field, that is very, very valuable, and that's why you got to be careful with the tuning of cap. Strong hero right now, but definitely...
No, we are 1K. We are. A lot of people are, actually.
It kind of goes hand in hand with like the different sort of heroes that we've been seeing throughout the course of today. I love the diversity, and Kratz has been playing this so well to also help heal for Forky Dog once that freeze has already been let out. Talk about also the double stack on having to deal against the Rage of Royal Flush. They're ready for it because of that freedom charge.
Yeah, we are going to see what happens now once the fight begins. Here's Angie already up in the fight. Is still
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate that, bro.
Likely going to try to pull out Forky unless they can do that naturally by other means, but it is going to be something they want to do to take point early.
What's going on from your point of view? We just made egregious individual mistakes, bro. It's just that simple.
That blaster barrage over the dome of the backline. We'll build that all quickly. Here goes the commitment right.
It's actually just that simple.
With the Royal Flush, the dance floor goes out. Can they stop it?
That's why I'm upset. It's not like they were a better team and we just lost because they outplayed us. Like they didn't beat us in draft.
Spin to win, and now he said let it rip with the Galactic Legend.
They didn't make any like game-changing fucking comp that we didn't think that they would play. They didn't make any type of game-changing play that they thought that we would make. Like we called what they would do and everything. We just didn't press slamp or someone split here or overextended when we were up 1 or I missed grab or bad whale or I linked at the wrong time or like
great, honestly, doing a great job of
fucking
on point, but the problem is, can they hold
it was just garbage
to the very end? Out goes the band hammer. Crystals get forced.
Or like I'm shooting whenever I'm Deadpooled, so I kill myself for no reason. Like just garbage like that, bro.
And just peel some of that cap pressure.
Big anti, by the way. Got a Mischief is forced out here. Respect is ready to go with the Rage of Royal Flush, and it's the get ready go button because they did manage to flip it. Imagine if they were able to recontest it. Oh no! Sanji shuts down Mellow. Sure, Swamp Gaming only got that 4%, but literally just an inch, a crumb on that point.
Brutal, and also losing ultimate right there. The Dance the Butterfly gets popped and gets burned in a millisecond. Great aim, great focus. And once again, Cafe Rose up 43% right now and climbing, trying to get to that 70% number to ensure they just need one more big fight. Valentina gonna launch here immediately. The whole team commits heavy pressure. Gotta watch out for that meteor ram. It does not seem to land as a Median now finds Pro Builder. A second one comes in. Goodbye again to Lyric as they do retake point in a moment, but still 60% almost. Oh, I might as well too soon.
It'll all be a lesson. I mean, I hope so, bro. That's like the problem, Jays, with this loss is we didn't like. There's nothing to learn from the macro. Like what did we learn from that draft and like that series? Like we predicted exactly what they would play in all of our conversations with the draft and the ban delay that we had. Like we read them perfectly. We knew exactly what they would play, like ban for ban. We knew how they would play the map. We knew that they would TP first fight every single time. We knew that they'd brought Strange. Like we knew everything. Like there's nothing to like. That's the frustrating thing is like what is there to learn? Like, you know, like, we just played like trash. That's why I'm mad.
The battle of the Star Lords. This one goes in Zanji's favor. Onto a Median. 31% in climbing here for Swamp. But again, Cafe at 70 is a dangerous spot to be at.
Winning the Ditto always feels good before you try to go in with a Heartbreaker, though. The Galactic Legend coming in from the sky while Pro Builder Donk Forky Dog in the head. That's going to be another takeover from Cafe Rose. They're playing this great in the way that they've been able to trickle in and finding Valentina now last for a slight stagger.
Yeah, jumping off there to reset at the team. One more big fight here in terms of until they're in heavy danger on the side of Swamp Gaming. Will they be able to bounce back and make something happen here?
I don't know, 1K. I don't know. Can't speak for anyone else.
Forky now available. So ult advantage is in their favor here. 90% for Cafe, though. They won't mind losing this. They're going to try to force out as many ults as possible. That's the idea here for this team.
And ticking away to almost 99%. The overtime's going to have to come in from Swamp Gaming. They have the survivability. Forky Dog gets frozen and stuns. Is still alive for now as Kraz paints the floor with the freedom charge, leading the rest of Swamp Gaming to try to take over the point, and then they jump. Respect. Huge pick because he would have had the God of Mischief. He would have been able to get a copy onto Pixel, and that is 2 more picks in favor of Swamp Gaming before they finally flip the point.
Cafe Rose needs to have one big alt fight here. They might have double Gambit available, which would be a big problem. But the question is, do they have anything to combine with that to help them out? And it doesn't look like they do right now. Forky Dog, Valentina, and Melophobia alongside Amadian and Scatter in this next fight. But they do not want to overcommit too much. They pull out crystals there quickly. That's a big win for them. Valentina going to start here with the Royal Flush, and the whole team's pressing forward.
Good communication right here. Rage Roll Flush. Ooh, look how close Valentina was. Literally one, but Valentina repositioning. Good spot, but they shut down the Galactic Legend. No binds.
Yeah, no, retweet.
Shutting down the win condition right here for Swamp
Mace
Gaming.
has
Now
been
with overtime
grinding.
ticking away, and Cafe Rose still having the lead, but they lost out on the Loki, who had the God of Mischief. The back-to-back on that pick could mean everything here for Swamp Gaming, because now they have Forky Dog with the survivability.
Yeah,
And big emphasis on retarded shit, like that's why we're mad, guys. Again, like, it's just fucking brain dead diamond level mistakes, bro. That's all it is.
Plenty of time to react. Good work there.
Like,
they did commit
fuck,
virtually
bro.
everything. It is now in favor of the side of Cafe Rose. As Respect's likely going to copy picks here, and Zanji's trying to get that ult. If he does, that would be a huge problem. There's no answer for Swamp. It's going to be all about their neutral, and if they can hold on through the chaos.
I love the positioning that we're currently seeing from Swamp Gaming. They're hiding behind all these broken tree trunks too before diving out. They were trying to expect the Galactic Legend and Respect. Yet the God of Mischief just trying to explore Scratch, who gets away.
Can't do that next week,
He
though?
survives
No,
from
he
that,
would
but
still
they
do
flip
it,
the
bro.
Points, but they're forced to try to recontest because time is of the essence. It's ticking away in overtime to stall.
Yeah, this is going to be really difficult here. It looks like Cafe Rose is doing a good job. Playing exactly the way they need to. Meteor M's available. Binds finds one. Another comes through. This is a matter of time at this point, folks. Cafe Rose looking like they will take this map back. And we will be going to our third map of game one.
What are these games playing out to be, Shiv? On third round, Cafe Rose. Can we? The MRC teams right now. Guys, these are teams that have competed here. Some of them have had experience. Some of them put together some new players coming out of ladder, all grouped up together, and they are making waves in their progress within the MRI now.
Yeah, I feel like every single game today has been such a back and forth heater. It looks like the exact opposite of what we saw yesterday. Teams, I think they took some of these L's personally, and they studied up, they looked at the tapes, they did their homework, they're finding comps that work, they're finding a better ban strategy, and these games have just
What
been
did I miss?
insane.
Don't want to talk about it.
Forth. But I'm looking forward to seeing who comes out on top here.
And I don't really say this very often too, Shiv. I want to get your opinion because Amadian, who's usually a really strong Star-Lord, and so he highlighted Shanji on the Namor just yesterday and the progress that Shanji had because he was MVP a few times too. I feel like we've been seeing Amadian get diffed by Sanji constantly in the 1v1.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's so tricky because, you know, the weird thing is Swamp allowed the Gambit Loki through. So although I think in the neutral, it's definitely something to keep eyes on and where like the diff's happening, but there's just so much combination to have Gambit with you on Star-Lord right now because there's always a Gambit available because they have the copy ready. So it gives them a leg up in a lot of the 1v1s if it's popped anyway, but outside of that, yeah, I mean, in the neutral, it is definitely something to keep eyes on. Make sure I track it a little bit more here. Pro Builder gonna use that team up, hit the skies with a rocket jump,
What's up,
and
Reese?
just be an AC-130
Oh no, take cover though, the Meteor
Do you
is
think if you
also
match?
ready to go,
No.
as he's trying to see
Matching
if he has
dog
the
shit
opportunity to
heroes
hold
with
on to
dog
the
shit
ground.
heroes
Inside
does
the
not
Pro
make you win the game,
Five.
guys.
Can you go and
Like
see
that's,
the Alpha
it's tilting me,
Photo
make
as
people
he
telling me to
tries
fucking
to
pick
get the
Spider-Man
Pixel, which is the
and
biggest pick
DPS
to get because it
Deadpool.
shuts
Like,
down that regular
oh
Royal
my
Flush
god.
approach. While
Like,
Swamp Gaming still have Valentino alive.
No, you said that beautifully. That is exactly what they were looking for. Shutting down that Gambit right there could not have been more valuable. It's infinite value. Getting a ton of picks, but especially the one who's using the Royal Flush shuts down everything and all the momentum for the team. And if people are in precarious positions pressing
or
forward,
for like
they
Monster
had
to
Gambit,
match
now it's
Hulk,
gone.
like
Now they might lose their fights too. It is a tricky position to be in. What an ultimate there.
Swamp Gaming taking control over this point first. A very different look to the start of our second round with Cafe Rose. Pro Builder still holding on to that Meteor Ember. Respect cannot go down again with this God of Mischief. Madian is ready to go. Forky Dog does have an invisible boundary. They back away, expecting the Rage and Royal Flush.
And here goes a ton of commitment now. It goes to boundary.
Spider-Man is S tier, yeah, I mean, according to Flats, yeah.
It's honestly pretty tough to try to hold on in the boundary through Gambit. All this we see Lyric now find a Madian. Scatter and Craze able to find a two-piece through the mix here. We might see a change up in priority on point. You see Binds finding one, Scatter and Valentina trading that back though. And again, numbers should be back in the favor of Swamp if they're able to get back here in time. I'm not sure. Yes, they can. Wow, what a hold.
Wait, the way that they were able to just peel right there too, right on top of the tank pool as well is great. Cafe Rose back to the drawing board. Swamp Gaming winning that was big too, because you saw Forky Dog. You mentioned it perfectly, Shib. Invisible Boundary is so difficult to hold on to when you have to deal with the Raging Royal Flush. That's why Forky Dog was gone. He was not even in that Invisible Boundary.
Yeah, it's tough. It's very difficult. As we see the height being owned here, Amadian juking for days, finds Lyric, trying to keep the momentum in their favor and shut this down quickly, making it 100-0. The portal was already popped, and Cafe Rose is in a very tough spot once again. No ults available. Melaphobia holding on to ultimate. The odds right now very much in Swamp's favor. They took that L, and they said, not today. Came back with a vengeance, and they want to shut this down.
And really, aside from Pixel, it's going to be very difficult to try to recontest here because they're going to have to worry about Valentino, who's very close to the Raging Royal Flush, whereas Mello is also right there with the tank pool trying to look at them, and Hammer ready to go, gets the grab and gets shut down. Talk about isolation with the Doctor Strange shield, but the Gambit never folds. He's bet everything on red this time around with overtime ticking down in favor for Swamp Gaming, and nobody is dropping from Swamp Gaming because nobody on Cafe Rose can even touch the point. Swamp Gaming dominate on that third round and win that first map.
Pixel was seconds away from getting that ultimate there, and it maybe would have made it a battle, but yeah, you're right. That was just clean play across the board there by Swamp Gaming. Locked back in, took the L personally, and looked clean all throughout that. I mean, honestly, right off the back of that early takedown into the Gambit ult was enough for to buy them 50%,
Rogue awful now with
60%
Gambit
on point, and at that point, it is tough to come back. Scatter with 19 finals. Ew.
Ooh, yeah, the Aya Makamoto also came in clutch and shutting down any sort of Gambit recontest that we saw from the very beginning of that third round for that first fight. Even looking at Lyric, who had some shiny moments, right? But they were getting shut down. Look at this, the KO difference across the board. Valentina and Forky, with Valentina going down 6 times, Forky going down 5 times in comparison to Respect, who in those crucial moments did go down with the God of Mischief with a back-to-back before trying to retake over that second point here. And Swamp Gaming were able to restabilize, and I think honestly adapt way faster than Cafe Rose by the very end.
Yeah, I think I got to owe some respect here to Forky too, where I think it's very difficult to find a win through the Gambit Loki, especially when you're playing Invis, but being able to be up near the top healing, only falling 5 times the least out of all the strategists as Invis throughout the chaos, that's something to definitely call out. So shout out to the backline there, enabling your front line to be aggro. Melaphobia finding 9, the triple van in the front with Craze and Scatter looked really good. This team comp looked solid. They struggled a bit on map 2, but even then they still had their time and a chance to take home the map. So they look good the whole way.
Yeah, they're looking fantastic. That was just Dom alone, right? We got game number 2, guys. Don't go anywhere. It'll come to you on the other side of this break.
Shane, thanks for the prime, bro. I appreciate it, man. Thanks, how do I say your name? Extra? I think it's supposed to be Tristan. It's just with an X. Whatever, I appreciate it, bro. You doing ranks later? Probably not. Want to rewatch your games? Just like any VOD? It's TLC. I mean, this will just be a 2-0. Like, none of this shit matters. Bro, like, what's even the point of even streaming right now anymore? Like, this is over 2-0 and this is 2-0. I don't know, man. Ranked would go crazy right now to relax. Yeah, let me play fucking ranked to relax, bro. Go on a rant about what? Yeah, let me watch Flats's tier list, bro.
Welcome back, everyone. Another series that is off to a great start. The first 2 rounds were so close, 99-99, both 2 rounds. And then somehow, some way, it seemed like one team just had to lock in, right? Swamp Gaming, she's like, no, okay, you know what, never mind. And they had a dominant performance on that last map. But up until then, it was Cafe Rose that was in control both times. Until somehow, some way, Swamp Gaming found a way back in. Why do you think they did find a way back in? Like, why was Cafe Rose not able to close it out?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it was just, I don't know. I mean, the team is storied, right? They look really good together. Scatter obviously played lights out and was playing some of that Vanpool and, 19 finals on a Vanguard. It was a disgusting performance.
Kino, thanks for the 10 gifted, man. I really appreciate that, bro.
Because they kept losing early on
Fucking
that point
beast.
and always found a way back to gain back that percentage. And typically in Dom, percentage fashion, if you
thanks so much, man.
Odds are like 70% in your favor. So huge bounce back. I think the team just kind of stayed calm and they found success with every single ult. What'd you think, Vicky?
Yeah, I definitely agree too, because they also had priority, right? They knew that what they needed to combat that Rage and Royal Flush from the other side, especially if they're going to have 2 in rotation. They prevented the God of Mischief from having much value in that second round too when they were able to lock in. I also feel like even though they had lost out on that, despite the God of Mischief not having that impact, they go into that 3rd round and they try to get that focus fire onto that Gambit. Once that Rage and Royal Flush was already wasted, the Eye of Agamotto and the timing of their own Rage and Royal Flush from Valentina came at the best time. Why? Because then you get to see a flying Strange come out of nowhere into the Eye of Agamotto and then shut down that Gambit.
Yeah, it even helps more with his momentum jump that Strange has received in recent patches. If you do have that speed, you can cook. You can just jump like Hulk across the map, so can enable some big plays. It was a huge play there. And so when you are playing Strange into the side of Gambit, you're always trying to just land that eye on Gambit. Save it every time, and if you can do it, it's game-winning. As we saw there, it really did set the tone.
Yes, Genji in phenomenal performance yesterday already on that Vanpool. Again today, twice the opportunity to do that, and then afterwards on Doctor Strange, as you said, Ship, like incredible numbers that he was putting out there. And also, of course, lots of credit to the backline, Forky Dog and Valentina. They did so much.
Autumn, thanks for the Prime, bro. I appreciate it, man.
So it's really difficult to like identify
thanks for all the subs, guys.
what needs focusing here.
Really appreciate the support, seriously.
Yeah, I definitely agree here, because we see in the Museum of Contemplation.
Yeah, I'll check it out later, Resper.
I actually was thinking, if the Vanpool impact from Scatter was so strong, I mean, maybe we could see that as a ban from the other side. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea. We're going to find out in a moment if they want to lock it in first, because it really did provide a ton of value for them. I think it's tricky. I mean, especially the crazy thing is into Loki, where Loki has crystals for an answer. It can be dicey. Oh, it looks like they're going to lock in Gambit. That makes total sense to me. They want to try to get a similar thing cooking here if they can get the Gambit in, but they're not going to, last time they didn't have the double Rage and Royal Flush. It looks like they're going to ban that Loki. They don't want to deal with that on the other side this time again.
And making sure that Swamp Gaming won't have that up their sleeve, forcing out that Loki ban here too. But we know that the strategist backline of Swamp Gaming are so flexible. Same thing honestly could be said about their Vanguards. There's only so much you could really ban out when it comes to the Vanguard lineup with the flexibility. But it is going to be the Vanpool that is protected. And I do like this because we've also seen so many times, it's so hard, Chib, to finish off on this map, right? The longer this map goes on for, you have to consider how stronger that Vanpool gets too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, his weakest moment is right off the rip. If you can make plays, then...
Magmatic, thanks for the bets, bro. I appreciate it, bro.
This elo, across the board is using that Banhammer. They're upgrading that Banhammer first. It's the very first thing they do, because if you can pop that on a strat that's using cooldowns early, that doesn't have ultimate available yet, it's almost a guaranteed KO, and it sets the pace for your team to retake positioning. And that's why he's just so incredibly strong right now, and he's got so much in his kit in terms of movement and even a shield that can be a problem for isolating and protection, as we saw in that last map. Goodbye again to the Venom. I just want to shout out to Swamp Gaming, who's removing that Venom, and I've been saying I don't think that's a bad move.
I'm so happy people are talking about it more, right? Because it's like, oh,
your arms are nice. Thanks, bro.
No one's really
appreciate
been talking about the Venom being a big problem. It's super disruptive. You have to also consider what Jeff could provide.
Another vid dropping soon about what, bro?
Sightlines. You've seen Jeff earlier on pop off, where that piercing right through your own teammates, where after you kill them, you also deal a good enough of that damage for the dive to find that success. Rocket Band coming out right afterwards, which means you will not have the BRB or the extra damage output from Asiya.
Yeah, we're going to see what the comps are looking like right now. Teams have been loving this map, and you know what? I love it too. I think it's fun. It's very lane-focused. I think there's some off-angle plays. There's some off-map potential. I honestly don't mind the walls too. You know, those barrier walls. They can set up some fun plays and give you some, you know, angles to take off angles where you feel more safe and you have escape routes. Stuff like that is huge. But we're going to see here Cafe Rose Pro Builder showing the Atom. Found one of the few teammates actually in all of yesterday that found some major success with the Atom. Actually had some huge reses that gave him the point on domination and actually won them the map being down. So, you know, we'll look at
let's go play Daredevil.
Guarantees to me that we're going to see a triple
no.
from Cafe Rose, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Triple.
But you're funny like Peter, you're smooth like Quagmire, you're honest like Cleveland, you're brave like Joe, and you're beautiful
crazy. The fact
like
that
Lewis,
we haven't
and you're
even
cute like Stewie.
highlighted
Thanks,
Pro
bro.
Builder in the crazy Atom plays, because that's what you need. If your Atom isn't getting impact on those reses, well, good luck with trying to make some of these swaps happen, because Respect is going to be able to get that copy, get more reses done too, and we could see infinite born-agains happening and elongating these fights.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this matchup once again. Swamp Gaming up 1 here, folks, into Cafe Rose, a team that lost
Thanks,
a few
Bao.
players early
Appreciate
on.
it, bro. Have a
Do
good
not
night,
count them
man.
out. They've looked great throughout all of Ignite so far. First 2 days, plenty more of Ignite coming. And again, folks, we're just in the preseason. Oh, they saw the confidence and no. Let's change it up. And I love to see that.
Yeah,
Swamp
no, I'm
Gaming
locked for next match,
immediately
and I'm
making
never
a
giving
change
up.
here.
I have cancer.
Talk about not wasting any time, right? Scatter on the
Played in
Strange,
Sunday,
he's
thank
be
you,
able to
bro.
dive back in. Sees, all right, they took out the triple strat. They see the Atom Warlock. They're going to make sure that's not going to be a problem, though. No binds, too, by the way, on the Hulk. It's now the opposite of the Pain Brothers. It's going to be the Pain enemies before de-hulking Bruce Banner, and he is the first one out.
What a highlight craze there. Not using the Yancey until Hook was already past him, ensuring Hook could not jump through him. That's big brain right there. You don't want to commit that cooldown too early. Using the haymakers first, and once Hook went past him, shutting down the chance of him jumping over him. Huge play there by Craze on the back. Ensuring that, excuse me, the Hook could not get on the back of his back line. Here we go again with some commitment. Melaphobia already pressing Q on the strategist. Another pick and another as they find 3. Craze able to take out Lyric. And what a start here for Swamp after immediately changing their comp.
After another one. I love that shout out too, Ship. It's good information to know, especially as to why maybe they've been faltering. Kraz holding onto those cooldowns. Scatter's gonna be able to find no binds next, and that's a slight stagger too, forcing out the portal.
Yeah, the portal play's coming in. It's going to be their best chance at holding this point, but forcing that out this early is a win here for the attacking side of Swamp, who's looked great so far. The Raging Royal Flush has already been committed. It will not be able to be matched as Gambit was locked out from Cafe Rose. One goes down, and oh no, it was the Loki. Goodbye to any sort of answer ultimate trying to copy that back line, and instead, Scatter's going to find one. Forky with another. Valentina, everyone getting a piece of the pie, and that should be point 1.
And you saw Respect was trying so hard to hold onto those lamps, but then you have the Gambit never folds, and then you have to worry about.
All right, guys, I'm gonna end stream. I need to go like chill. I don't know. Sorry about being a fucking loser today, but we'll come back better tomorrow. Hopefully, at least. I'll try my best. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.